That's when I first saw it played. Sometimes you play it for an awkward lie, or generally just out of the light rough around the green when you're frightened of fluffing it.
But you do need to practice. Now Oliver Wilson, third shot at the 17th. He's got a chance really to certainly tie for the lead. If he can finish 4-4, he might sneak ahead. And where's that? Not bad. Yes. Pulled up a bit too quickly. Not bad.
Stenson with just a little bit of housework left. Whitefoot got his par. Very sound on the greens all season, Stenson.
I think Stenson will make our Ryder Cup team in September. Carlson just from a few inches away taps in, and a tremendous finish by him. Apart from a rather sloppy 15th hole where he dropped a shot. Look at that, 3-4-4. So he's done what a number have done before, and that really does perk you up to get a finish in like that. The reverse of Paul Broadhurst. So Carlson at this moment leads by 2, but Wilson's chasing, and the whole more of the pack to go out later.
Robert, a terrific round again today in testing enough conditions. What happened out there?
Well, today was a little bit more moisture in the greens. It's I think there'll be someone shooting a low score today because it's a bit easier today. But I'm happy with my round, and I'm going on.
They're going to have to work cut out though to catch you, because you're in a great position. You must be happy with that though.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm really happy. I mean, it was a bit of a struggle today. I actually putted really good, but the ball just didn't want to go in the hole, and then all of a sudden I birdied the last 3, and the longest putts were sort of 1.5 foot. That makes it a bit easier.
Now, you putted very well, but they didn't go in the hole. Is that a real problem around here? Is it to do with the greens?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, it's old greens. There's a lot of small, subtle breaks in them. It's important not to get too caught up in it, and just keep hitting the putts you want, and then sooner or later they drop in.
After your 66 yesterday, you spoke about the need for patience out there. Clearly you have patience, but you seem to have a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I'm comfortable. I'm pretty happy with the way I'm playing, so it's good fun out there.
Are you really enjoying it out there? Because you look like, you know, you could really shoot low scores.
Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. It's a great test, this golf course as well. It's one that really tests you mentally, because it feels like you have a lot of good birdie chances, but then you walk off with fours and with pars, and you actually have to be happy with that.
You've been playing exceptionally well this year, so making a lot of money here in Europe. You've been making money every time you play in America. Bank manager must be happy.
Yeah, wife is happy too.
Can I ask you, how ambitious are you now? Because you've played Ryder Cup, you have 7 victories. You're going for more victories, obviously. You're the most successful Swede on the European Tour. What's the big target for you?
The big target for me has been the last few years to just keep improving on my own game and keep improving myself. I mean, that's the only thing I can focus on. The stats lies a little bit. I mean, I would say that Henrik Stenson is the most successful Swede, but I'm the one who's won more tournaments than he has, so I'm going to hope I can add on to that a little bit.
Great finish today. Great couple of birdies just to close out your round. The best of luck over the weekend.
Thank you.
Robert Carson, our leader, but this is Oliver Wilson on the final green, and he would have that tap in for a birdie 4, and Oliver Wilson will get within 1 shot of Robert Carlson. Great round from Oliver Wilson. 3 second places this season, Supercard, an eagle at the 4th, and 4 birdies en route to a 66. Let's hear what he thought of his round.
A tremendous round today. You really got it going out there.
Yeah, you know, it was got off to a good start. You know, the first few holes were quite tricky and made 3 good pars, and then made an eagle up the par 5 4th, and just carried it on from there. Really, I got a bit better as the day went on. Yesterday was a bit up and down. I hit some great shots yesterday, but made a few mistakes, and today I just sort of eliminated the mistakes and putted pretty solid again, but hit a lot of greens and just played solid.
You're playing very consistent golf at the moment. You must be incredibly comfortable with your game. Is everything kind of working good for you?
It is, yeah. My swing's not where I want it. You know, it's getting better all the time, but this last couple of weeks just been struggling with it, and I lost a bit of confidence with it this week, and it's coming back, but it's not exactly the course you want to be trying to improve your swing and not trusting it. So I was quite pleased. I played pretty good on the back nine, hit some good shots. Like I say, I wasn't comfortable yesterday on the back nine and hit a few dodgy shots and got penalised for it. So today I learnt from those mistakes and played a bit more sensibly, and hit good shots in the end. Hit a lot of greens, and just keep doing that. I'll be all right.
Now you're 11th in the order of merit. I'm sure you'd like that win. Has it been frustrating so far not to kind of close the deal?
It's getting a little frustrating, yeah. I pride myself on consistency. That's what I want to be. I want to be consistent. I want to be up there every time I play. Which I'm getting more like. I'm producing more results like that. But it would be nice to knock a win off soon. I know if I keep putting myself in contention, then it's going to happen. I think I've just got to instead of almost when I'm in contention, I almost just sort of keep doing my thing, and maybe I need to be a bit more aggressive and try and win it coming down the last few, as opposed to almost I'm putting myself in positions for if people mess up, if they make a mistake, I'm right there. But I think I've just got to be a little bit more aggressive on the last few holes maybe, and go for it.
Do you slam the trunk though when you come so close, as you do so often, or are you able to deal with it rationally?
To be honest, it's fine. It's not like I'm finishing second and having 4-shot leads or leading and bogeying the last or anything like that. I think half of my seconds have come from good last rounds. Coming from quite a long way back, where second at the beginning of the day would be a great result. So, obviously pretty happy with those. And the other ones, apart from my very first one in China, where I bogeyed 17 and dropped a shot. Apart from that one, I haven't lost any of them. I've been just put myself right there, and if anyone does make a mistake, I'd have been there to capitalise. But unfortunately, there wasn't. Everyone's managed to hang on, and my time will come. And I know when it does, I think a few will come pretty quickly. So hopefully, it won't be long.
Why are you doing so well here at the moment, just to wrap things up? Why is it that you can succeed where so many others are failing at the moment? They're very frustrated out there.
It's tough, it's a tough golf course, and I play tough golf course as well. The firmer and faster they are, the better I play. It's tricky. You've got to think your way around, be sensible. I hit it pretty straight usually, apart from 17. But if you can hit it reasonably straight and just sort of, around here you just can't really be too aggressive. You've just got to try and get it on the greens and 2-putt and hold the odd putt. The par 5s are always chances. I think that's the best way. If you can just plod your way around and try and capitalise on the par 5s, you're going to be in pretty good position. So that's the game plan.
Stunning round of 66. The very best of luck over the weekend, Oliver.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Miles Tunnicliffe was looking to join Oliver Wilson on 8 under. This was a few seconds ago at the 15th. A 3 there, and Oliver Wilson was 1 shot off the lead as well. And this is how things currently stand. Let's bring you right up to date. Robert Karlsson, the Swede, on 9 under after 69, following his 66 yesterday. Oliver Wilson we saw with his 66, Miles Tunnicliffe, 3 holes to go. Paul McGinley, couple of birdies, couple of bogeys on his front 9 today. He remains level par for the day, 7 under for the tournament. The big question really is those players that might just miss the cut. At the minute it's projected to be around 2 over, that might go to 1 over. But these players are sure to miss the weekend. Nicholas Fast, the Swede, Colin Montgomery, Jose Maria Olazabal, Justin Rose, Rory McIlroy, all the way down. Big names, just shows you how hard it is to make the cut at the PGA event. Michael Campbell looks 16 over par, 2 rounds in the 80s for the Kiwi. Well, the BMW PGA Championship is the flagship event on the European Tour. Bigger money than ever. In fact, the players are being looked after like never before, as Shane O'Donoghue reports.
In the UK last year, an estimated 100,000 people contracted skin cancer. For those whose working lives are permanently outdoors, the risks are obviously greater. Professional golfers are obviously travelling the world following the sun, So the European Tour have taken direct action now to help educate their players about the risks, but also to provide free testing at events such as this, the BMW Championship.
We started off the programme last year and it was well received enough by all of the players that we're now extending the relationship for another 3 years, and we're not just doing the main tour now, we're doing the Challenge and the Seniors Tour. They're equally in high-risk groups as well.
It takes about 15 or 20 minutes for the screening. The players have an opportunity to speak to a very experienced dermatology nurse, and the results go down the line and get looked at by an expert. I think this has been about the most popular programme we've ever put on the European Tour. We've had last year we had well over 2/3 of one of the fields, and I suspect that we'll probably get a similar number this year.
There's no real excuse not to do it. I've sort of neglected it for the past year because it's been on offer for a while now, and I've always sort of made it hard to find the time. But it was so easy to do it this week. Then I decided, I suppose, 35 years of age as well, I really ought to be thinking about doing it now. There are so many stories nowadays about people getting skin cancer and dying younger than they should do, and it really can be monitored and kept an eye on and prevented. So I think the players should embrace it because, like you say, we are in the sun a lot, and it can become a problem.
Yes, common sense really. And the Chief Executive of the European Tour, George O'Grady, is here. Thanks very much for joining us, George. Lots of initiatives you've got on the go at the moment.
Well, I think when we talked last year, we're trying to raise the bar all the time. Everything we do, we have a leadership role, I think, to people who play the game. I think we go to so many different places around the world, very hot climates as well on the screen cancer testing we have. And I think we respond to what players are looking for. And I think that's it. I think we keep trying to raise the bar.
You've also, with the Ryder Cup coming up, of course, in a few months' time, you've got a health screening for that as well, a different sort of thing to that. But
well, it's a tough schedule now. It's a global schedule. We play everywhere in the world. People are on aircraft a lot. They work out so much more, whether it's the Tiger Woods effect, the Ernie Els effect or whatever. Everybody trains more. Everybody's fitter. I use the phrase now for ourselves, the 70 is the new 50, but for the professional sportsmen, I mean, they leave no step unturned.
There's Oliver Wilson there undergoing.
Well, it's the Weybridge
tests.
Diagnostic Centre. It's run by Jonathan Shrewsbury, who used to be on the tour for 8 years in our physiotherapy unit. I mean, they do a lot of different stuff. They test the Chelsea football team, just to mention one, but a lot of other ones, and professional sportsmen and all people at any level. It is the latest diagnostic equipment you can get.
Elsewhere, I mean, bigger money than ever this week at the BMW PGA Championship. How do you keep persuading these sponsors to partake in golf, because it's become huge now, the money?
Well, you say it's big money, but I think it's value for money. I think that's the first thing. We have to show where it comes to, where it goes. You're linking your product, you're linking your service. Our partnership with BMW is so strong around the world. It sends a message to a lot of people who aspire to move the bar in whatever they do in their lives. I think it's not just a question about motor cars, it's a whole lifestyle. And I think as long as we continue to deliver value, whether it's to companies like BMW or all our associated partners in this tournament, which you see, I mean, they're all high product companies, Wentworth, Rolex, there's just a mass of them. But if you go around the world to countries, to golf courses themselves, and to tourist boards, I mean, we are, well, you'd expect me to say so, but I think we're terrific value for money.
And something new this season, of course, the race to Dubai. Explain that to us, if you would.
Well, I think it's a way, I mean, I credit Ernie Els with the idea for this. It's, I don't care who has the idea, it's a question whether you can use it. But we had to respond when the PGA Tour had the FedEx Series and they finished their season, in if you like, the third week in September. So we really sat back. I think I said in this interview last year, we really looked at the tour. Where are we good? Where are we not so good?
Is it a way of persuading big name players not to stay in America too much? Is that a response to that?
People go on about whether we can bring other Americans back here. We've got some really good stars in Europe. Can we hold on to them? Now, the race to Dubai and the Dubai World Championship with the Leisure Corp company, I mean, that's a $10 million bonus pool for the top 15 at the end of the year, and the top 60 qualify for the Dubai World Championship, another 10 million, and I think they'll be looked after pretty well. But that's the beginning of a very, very strong partnership. 20 years ago, we were with another company who saw the value of Europe and how we could develop television stations and develop television production. Now we're free to look at the world, I think. Yeah. And this gives you a focus. I think you've seen that Leisure Corp bought Turnberry the other day. I mean, they do appreciate really quality products. A lot of our players, a lot of the media want us to play more links courses. We may or may not go back to Turnberry that often. We'll see. But I think that's the first of quite a few that comes out. But yeah, Justin Rose, I've just spoken to him. It's so disappointing for him he's missed the cut. I said he's done so much for us. He's really on song. So's Luke Donald. So's Vijay Singh. Vijay Singh was, I mean, he phoned me. I was in Lausanne yesterday talking to the Olympic Commission because we're making a big push, which is well known in the world of golf now. I went with Commissioner Fincham from the PGA Tour, Peter Dawson, the head of the United States Golf Association, and the head of ladies golf. I mean, we are looking at what's good for the world. We must respond to the golfing wishes of the rest of the world. We have a leadership role to play, and I think we're going to raise the bar for that.
Okay, George, thanks very much for your time. Wish you all the very best. We're going to start our coverage now of the afternoon golf. Let's have a look at some of the groups that we'll be following throughout the afternoon. The overnight leader, of course, Paul McGinley. He's currently at the turn, still 7 under for the day. David Howell's dropped a couple of shots, and Graham McDowell on level par currently. Ernie Els had a bad time yesterday and he's not really rallied much today. Nick Dougherty and Anders Romero both 2 under par after 8 holes. Paul Casey's picked up a couple of shots today, and Miguel Angel Jimenez is going very well. Thomas Bjorn struggling to make the cut. Well, you can see our studio here. Just to my right-hand side are Andrew Cotter and Ken Brown. They're raring to go.
Raring. Coiled springs. Yeah, I think that sunshine is finally, which threatened to come through, is starting to break through, and things are warming up because we head to the halfway stage at the 2008 BMW Championship. We have had a few showers today, and what that means, or should mean, is that things are a little bit easier, just that moisture in the ground. But some big names, as we've seen, are scrabbling hard to make the cut. Others may already have fallen. Justin Rose certainly out 5 over. Monty bogeying the last for 4 over, but others going very well. Paul McGinley steady today, 7 under yesterday. This to improve by 1. In she goes. What a way to start. What a way to start our afternoon's coverage. White trousers again. I'm sure there's something in that. Very good from McGinley. 2 drop shots, but 3 picked up. And he now tucks himself in neatly behind Robert Carlson. That group alongside Oliver Wilson, who finished with a 66 fine round of golf. And Miles Tunnicliffe, who's coming into the final 3 holes. Better scores. Scores in the 60s, a few to be seen. Luke Donald finished around lunchtime with a 69. You'll just want to be in touch going into the afternoon, the weekend's rounds. So, yeah, the players who have finished with the little white squares, rounds of 71, 71 for Peter Hansen. Paul Broadhurst in his 500th tournament. And then yellow with the numbers 14, 13, 13. Those are the holes those players have played out on the course. Everybody chasing Robert Carlson at the moment, including Simon Wakefield, 5 under par on the 18th. He's there in the orange shirt, Simon Wakefield. And this, I believe, is an eagle putt to move to 7 under par. And what a way to finish. Okay, the conditions now, we had those showers this morning, look rather pleasant indeed.
Yes, they're going to be a little bit easier than they were yesterday afternoon, which got a bit brutal. Greens dried out, the ball was bouncing all over the place. There was a bit of overnight rains and a bit of rain this morning as well. So the afternoon starters are a little bit easier. Started the day 4 under par, currently 5 under. Ooh.
Could have done with his uncle behind the hole there, former England wicketkeeper Bob Taylor. He needs this, Simon Wakefield. He's had 7 missed cuts this season. He's certainly not going to miss the cut, and If he continues this form in for a very good finish, we'll come back to that part. But here is a struggler, a big name struggler, Ernie Els. A much needed birdie. John Hawksworth is down watching the struggles of Ernie. John?
Yes, he's just not firing on all cylinders. He's played this 9th hole very well, and a lot of spin with his second shot, but no birdie for Ernie.
He had a few problems with this 9th green overnight. I think it was something of a flood. I think one of the sprinkler pipes burst, and so this green much softer than the others on the course. Come on, Simon, up the hill. It's still no peaking. No, we pulled it. .139 for his opening 36 holes. Slightly disappointing finish. 5-5 at the last 2 par 5s, but other than that, a neat, tidy round. Have a nice line in the morning, be one of the later starters. Good week at the Johnny Walker Classic earlier in the year.
Andres Romero, very impressive Argentinian birdie putt here on the 9th. Huge drive, 318 yards. Frightened the life out of me. I thought it was far enough up the fairway, but he is impressive, this guy.
He's getting going, John, isn't he? When he does start to pick up birdies, that momentum seeps through his body and he makes more and more. I remember him making 11 birdies around at Loch Lomond and then 10 at Carnoustie in the final round.
Yeah, the thing with Romero is he's like most of the Argentinians. It's an effortless power that they have, and he's not the biggest frog in the pond, and he certainly pumps it out.
So impressed after the Open Championship, where despite having lost it, going out of bounds, bouncing off the burn and missing out in that playoff involving Garcia and Harrington, he won the next week in Germany. Now playing alongside Nick Dougherty, who's 2 under for the tournament. 2 under he was at the start, a level par today.
Yeah, Nick Dougherty found the bunker off the tee, couldn't reach the green, played a pretty nice pitch shot to here. Just had a quick chat with him as he came up the 9th. He looks fairly chipper. He's gone through some bad times of late, but his par putt, well, that's a bogey for Nick.
It was all pars until that point. That'll be out in 1 over.
Miles Tunnicliffe putting together a fantastic round for a birdie. Oh. Leamington Spa lives in Madrid now. Sorry, in Malaga in Spain. Two par 5s to come. Out with Paul McGinley's match, playing with David Howell and Graham McDowell, is Paul Eales.
Beautiful afternoon out here, warming up nicely. All the morning rain disappeared. Graham 2 over for his round, 138 yards to go. This is an 8-iron up the hill, back into a slight breeze.
Oh, stunner, back she goes towards the hole.
Green's just that bit more yielding. Yesterday afternoon that would have taken another hard hop and finished 12 feet past.
That's what some of the players were saying, that yesterday you couldn't tell. Sometimes they stuck in the greens, sometimes they bounced on, and that was causing a lot of problems, a lot of high scoring. Now, David Howell.
Well, that's right, Andrew. It was very, very tricky yesterday afternoon. Not so today. Chances for these players. 130 yards for David Howell, just an easy 8.
Gets a rather anxious-looking dip into the ball, but pretty good. 3 over though today after a fine 70 yesterday. 1 over for the tournament. Double bogeys at the 7th and the 8th. Those ugly, ugly scars on his card. Got to dig deep now and make sure he makes the cut, because made cuts are not bad for David Howell now.
Just 118 yards to go for the Irishman. Just a wedge, this one here.
Good shot, but you'd rather be short of this pin and past it. Short of the flag you're putting up the hill. Great year 2005. Ended up winning at Valderrama, the Volvo Masters. Without doubt his best win.
Oh, Jimenez in the jungle, in the trees, and trying to watch him. Philip Parkin.
Yeah, and Jimenez is actually doing some really big swings as though he's going to try and hook this like crazy. If he gets this one anywhere near the green, I mean, it's just to be an amazing shot.
Also, like his normal swing.
184 yards to go. He's going to have to try and get this as close to the tree as he can. Almost clip a few branches. Oh no. Well, it's doing well, but it didn't quite catch it the way he wanted.
Half draw, half top, scuttled out.
You should perhaps let the two players know, Phil, that this green is very soggy, because it caught a lot of the early starters out. They didn't know it had been soaked overnight with a burst pipe.
Yeah, I imagine the tour would probably have notified the players of that situation. It wouldn't be fair if they didn't. Huge tee shot from Paul Casey, not as far as Thomas Bjorn though. 166 yards to go.
Strong, little open stance, just trying to cut this one in a fraction from left to right, just inside that silver birch, and then fade it to the flag. So he's poof straight in, soggy. I mean, nearly everyone's come out short of that pin.
Not often he's outdriven. Statistically, the longest hitter on the European Tour this season. What do you think his yardage is about Paul Casey, Ken?
310.
Higher than 310?
Sounding like Bruce Forsyth. 320.
323. 323
cool.
Of your finest yards.
Gary Orr, the man from Helensburgh, and nicely done. 15th, always a tough hole to make a birdie, particularly when the pin's on the right.
Back to David Howell for birdie on the 11th.
There's a big left to right swing here for David Howell.
Now this man can putt. Judged it well. Just a little bit shy in strength. In those vintage seasons, 2005, 2006, he was just about the very best putter around. And tee to green wasn't too shabby either.
He certainly still putts well, David Howell. 2006 champ. First Englishman to win since Nick Faldo. Nick was here earlier this week.
Good read on that one, Paul. Good help on the read. And Paul McGinley knows which way this one comes.
Well, he does. Paul McGinley had to move his marker there out of the way of David Howell's line, so he's replaced the marker, which was on the exact line of Howell's. Now, if he can hit it on that line, but just with an ounce extra pace, it'll find the middle of the hole, because that was a super attempt from David Howell. After that 30-footer or so on the last for a birdie too. Come on, Paul, get some momentum going. Par 5 awaits you after this one, left to right, and as it loses pace it will swing really hard to the right hand side.
Pick the highest spot and dive into the hole. He's got a chance, he's got the pace. Oh, right in the jaws. Terrific effort.
You could see he was helped there by Howell's putt. He knew that it just needed a little bit more to the left, a little bit more strength. Par fives to come.
Third shot of Jimenez coming out of this. Well, it's not the fairway, just a very light semi.
So still Robert Carlson out on his own. Good to follow that opening 66 with a 69, 9 under par. And 3 players just tucked in behind. Oliver Wilson, the only one who's in the clubhouse after his 66. Good score from Luke Donald, who's never really fared that well in the PGA Championship. Decent finish last year, top 10, but expect better. And Paul Casey, we've been looking at, out on the 9th hole, 3 under par. Ross Fisher, the local lad, 2 under par today and for the tournament. Nick Dougherty slipping back to 1 under with that drop shot at the 9th. And all these players who still have plenty of golf left this afternoon can push on up that leaderboard. Some will be tumbling t'other way towards the cut mark, which we expect at 2 over. Of course, our next coverage on the BBC after this, the flagship event in the European Tour, is the flagship event to end all great events. We're heading up to Loch Lomond for the Scottish Open, and then the big one, the Open Championship at Birkdale, 17th to the 20th of July. 10 hours a day, live on BBC One, BBC Two, 10 years after Justin Rose, fresh-faced and straight from kindergarten, knocked it into the hole at the last. 17 years old. Mark O'Meara, the champion then. Great course, Birkdale, Ken, isn't it?
Absolutely, and the entry's closed with the Open Championship on Thursday the 29th of May. So if you're fancying having a go, time's running out.
Bit fiery from Casey.
Ball below your feet with your second shot to the 17th. Then you've got to try and draw it, so the slope working against the shape you want to hit.
Folios, have you got your entry into the Open? You love your links golf. Have you entered the Open this year?
I do love my links golf, and I would walk over broken glass to play in an Open Championship.
They're not going to ask you to do that, are they?
I've given the R&A £120 of my well-earned money to enter.
Cracking drive. Bounding on down. You see the distance they're getting there today. Long way past those ditches. It's going to be just a medium iron to the green on this par 5.
9th green and Thomas Bjorn. Not sure he's 100% fit, Thomas. Currently 4 over. Cut looking like coming. Oh, I suppose it's still 2 overs favourite. With the Open Championship, he could have, perhaps should have been Open champion. Left his dreams in the sand at the 16th at St George's. McGinley certainly got hold of his, long way past his playing partners. Par putt for Miguel Angel, hooked his tee shot, chopped it out and then was pitched to here. He's got a chance. Ooh. Well, 3 birdies on the front 9. That's going to be the solitary bogey, so he's going to be out in 32 against the par of 30. No, sorry, 33 against the par of 35. Good round. Looks like making a 5 at the 9th.
Paul Casey now, just this one coming back to save par, was very aggressive on the previous hole with his birdie attempt, and he is aggressive with everything. Made a really nice eagle on the 4th earlier today, hit it to about 10 feet and rolled it in.
Lovely, good putt. Former world match play winner, he played brilliantly that week. Parky, I want you to do me a favour. Will you ask these players whether they did know whether that green was heavily watered overnight due to the sprinkler heads?
Yes, it would be interesting if they were told. Yeah, I'll certainly have a word with them.
The early starters weren't. I think they're talking about it now.
Despite that blemish, still 33 to the turn for Jimenez. A remedial cigar and things will be fine, and he'll attack the back 9.
Big swinger at the 15th from right to left for Gary Orr. But you can't afford to rip it in. No, not enough. Stays at 5 under, 3 under for the round.
Carson then out in front, untouched. Oliver Wilson, Tunnicliffe, McGinley chasing hard. Wilson in the clubhouse after that, 66. So much money up for grabs this week. Prize money, €750,000, which I think equates to just under £600,000. Lots of money in golf, but lots of it also goes to very good causes, as Gary has been finding out down on the 18th.
We're stood here on the 18th green of the West Course at Wentworth. Everyone knows there's lots of money in golf, but there are a generous lot as well. I'm joined by the chairman of Golf Aid, Mark Rowe. Mark, welcome. You've got some good news for us.
Well, I've got some very exciting news, Gary. You know, on behalf of the players at Golf Aid, under the banner of the Tour Players Giving Back, we've had several fundraising opportunities this week, one being the concert on the course and some other facilities in the Pro-Am there. We had a Pro-Am team in there. Thanks to the BMW PGA Championship for their support. It's been fantastic working with them. And we've raised £60,000 to give away here today. So, first of all, I would like to give £30,000 away to our nominated charity, Rainbow Trust Children's Hospices. And I've got Fritha Vincent here with me from Rainbow Trust. So I'm absolutely delighted to be giving her that sum of money. And I'm sure that's going to make a difference to Rainbow Trust. Now, I know that you are a champion of sports relief. And Peter Walker has got a cheque for you for sports relief for £30,000 as well. So we're happy to give that to you.
Well, that's fantastic. Thanks very much from everyone at Sport Relief for that. And it's a very generous gesture from Golf Aid, and we appreciate it. Peter, thank you very much indeed as well for your sponsorship this week and also taking your time out today. I'll make sure this gets to the right place.
Well done, everybody at the tour. There's a lot of charity work goes on over a season. Many of the players involved in their own charity days. Tunnicliffe, a nice little layout here. He's just far enough back to be able to nip this to this front pin. Got to be pinpoint accurate. And that's nice, very nice. If you get too far, too close, you can't really nip the ball.
Thomas Bjorn back on the par 3 10th.
Easy.
Practice. Practice makes perfect. Struggling again today, Thomas Bjorn.
Yeah, but the thing with Thomas, you always think he's only just that little bit away from turning it on and everything clicking and just birdieing all the holes. He's that good. 187 yards today. Thomas going with a 6-iron. Hole location tucked over that front right bunker.
So
Wow,
back left is not
there,
ideal then, no.
Miguel Angel Jimenez, you always feel as though he judges his irons very well. Certainly the distance, normally really accurate as well, but a little bit of breeze just into his face right now. That's also a 6-iron.
Trying to feather it in. Nicely done. Quite an interesting pin position that. Looks fairly innocuous. But where the flag is cut today from the angle the players are coming in from, see that bunker on the front right, it's only 12 yards to land it on. So most of the players are just favouring slightly left of the pin. They can use that as a slope, landing it in this area here. If we come back to the tee, this gives you an idea of how it looks from back there. Trees in your way, little narrow areas. Phil was saying how the wind can swirl around. So quite a tight little shot. And attacking the flag today, just about possible with the slightly softer greens, but left is always favourite, just where Jimenez hit it.
That's a super drive from McGinley, well over 310 yards down the 12th. Downwind, he's got 201 yards to go. It's chosen a 6-iron. Paul likes to hit these in really high.
Oh, you missed it.
Got away with it. See where his strength lies. Second in fairways hit, fourth in greens in regulation. So even with mid-table respectability putting, he's been doing very well indeed.
Tunnicliffe to get to 9 under and tie the lead. Yes, brilliant. 7 under for the round. Par 5 to come. Course record's looking in danger. Currently at 65, shot yesterday by Paul McGinley. Look at the leaderboard. 66 for Oliver Wilson earlier on today. Best round so far.
122, Ernie. Left-hand bunker went for the big one. Pitched straight in it. Romero's giving him a lesson in length today.
Try again. It's a rare sight. Could live till 100 and not see anyone else do that another time. Just trying to very, very close to the face. They're benign bunkers, but the very top of the face claimed them. And now it may well have just tumbled back into little club groove. Can't be too greedy with this one now. And that one there just caught a few straggles of heather. Still had enough. Well, much better, but he's there in 3. And 5 over par in his own backyard.
Just come round a little bit, thanks.
Yeah, in the bunkers that he put in, of course. It's the last couple of years, 2 bunkers introduced down the left of the 11th. Did Peter Alliss not suggest that one down the left-hand side of 11? Oh, stroke of genius.
117 Dougherty, perfect position, middle of the fairway. Climbs up the green, slightly uphill, 15 feet in difference in height.
Nicely done. Nicky D, very nice. His win at St Andrews in the Alfred, well, not the Alfred anymore, it's the Dunhill Links Championship. I've never seen anybody quite so chuffed to win a tournament.
Longest drive, obviously, Romero, 102 yards. Very good opportunity to get in close here, send the ball in lower. Can't quite see the bottom of the flag from where he is.
Here she comes. Well executed. One earlier this year. Oh, lovely jubbly. It's that kind of a day.
Got 14 flavours there on his.
Paul McGinley's faced with an awkward little chip here. Nothing really to go over, but there is a slope some 6 to 8 feet short of the flag on line that once the ball reaches that will start to swing from right to left and run away from him. So he's got to be very, very careful, not only just with the line, but with the pace of this. Needs to just knock it forward up the right-hand side and then hopefully judge the line and pace that'll swing from right to left.
Well, the greens are a little bit more yielding this afternoon, Paul. How are they looking?
Yeah, the greens are looking perfect. It was just yesterday, maybe they got a little bit crusty in that dry weather and just made things a little awkward for the lads, and a teasing wind as well. So it was 1 or 2 pins tucked away. So it was really, really a test yesterday afternoon, but perfect conditions here now.
Is that a chopper going over?
It is. Paul just backed off as a police helicopter or something up there. Looking for you, Ken, I think.
Turn it off. It just popped up in the air and gripped into that little upslope. Eight under for McGinley, now 1 behind. On the joint leaders, Carlson and Tunnicliffe.
Interesting, the cut mark is now coming back to 1 over par. Not heading t'other way.
Well, David Howell, after that beautiful 3-iron from 225 yards, has this for an eagle 3. Howell could really do with this one. Not had the best of seasons, but he's putting absolutely fantastic. 2nd place in Portugal. Right to left here.
There's 2 very basic things a good putter has. They've got a good touch, but they can also read the greens. You can have the best stroke in the world. If you can't read the breaks on them, you don't hold as many as you should do.
I heard a great quote the other day that Harvey Penick gave, that an ounce of touch is worth a ton of talent. McGinley certainly needs a good touch here. That was a very poor pitch. I was surprised he played it with so much loft, Ken.
Yeah, just see the way he reacted as if it popped up out of the grass a little bit. Maybe it was just sat down, and you're right. You'd thought a slightly lower one would have been more effective. Nice roll. It was a well-struck putt. Just didn't pick the line. Some little milky shadows there, Andrew.
Yeah, we're warming up as well. That'll feel like a shot drop, though, after that monster drive down the 12th from McGinley. Back on the 10th, Jimenez for birdie to move to 5 under. Stuffy old competitor. Oh, rolling well, rolling well. I think the players this afternoon, Ken, are just having it slightly better than the players yesterday afternoon did.
There's no doubt about that. Green's a little more favourable.
Well, for a birdie 4, Graham McDowell coming out of the right-hand bunker.
Miles Tunnicliffe's driven into the rough at the 18th.
Right into their first trap.
Little ditch to come over. All depends on the lie. I don't think from where he can reach the green. He's just nudging this down the fairway. In fact, he certainly can't reach the green. Sometimes these layups, you've got to just make sure you really focus on your target. It's easy to, you've got a 6-iron or a 5-iron in the hand, and suddenly, oh my goodness, I've hit it in the rough again. Par 5 this. Seems to squirt a little. Oh, it's just clambered over the ditch. You can see the red stake there. Bit of water. Should be okay.
There have been very anxious moments in the air there. But it's fine. His great round survives. Still on course for a course record. Andres Romero. Ernie Els has dropped another shot here. Romero remains 2 under. Ernie Els now 6 over for the tournament, and he too will surely be having a weekend at home. And in the same group, Nick Dougherty moves to 2 under. That shot that he dropped at the 9th is reclaimed.
Casey, oh, leaks it.
So, Carlson, company with Miles Tunnicliffe after his birdie at the 17th. A little bit of bother at the 18th, but Miles Tunnicliffe should remain in tandem with the suite at the top of the leaderboard, and Oliver Wilson and Paul McGinley a shot behind, scoring very good this afternoon. I'm going to perhaps go and have a look at the golf. The scoring is wonderful. Peter Alliss and Ken are going to take it from here. Peter.
You're very kind, young Andrew. And it's quite an afternoon, isn't it, Ken? Bubbling,
Yes.
Hubbling and bubbling up for a good evening's entertainment. Play's taking about 4.5 hours, which I suppose is almost David Duckham's speed. Do you remember the old David
yes, I
Duckham?
do. You could dodge around.
I was with him the other day.
Were you?
Yeah. Looks fit enough to still play. Well, there they are. Carlson, he's been finished a bit now. Robert leading the way. Tunnicliffe spotted by though, but 1 hole to go. But he's had a tremendous round. I don't know how many times he can equal that. 2s everywhere, including hold-out shots with 7 irons or 6 irons. And Miguel Angel down there, and there he is on the 11th, playing his usual first-class professional game of golf. Like a metronome, Ken, doesn't he? Just keeps sort of going. It doesn't do anything too destructive. Oh, well, apart from the odd pull. Got to have an odd pull now and again.
Yes, he's got an unusual action where he swings the club a long way on the inside, and then on the way down he corrects it.
Yeah, well, I think he hit that one with his practice swing, I think. Tunnicliffe at the 18th. Played 2 already. I think he was a bit lucky though. He clattered through the rhododendrons and came out clear. I don't think he's had a drop. Oh yes. Oh no. Oh. See, no, you can't legislate. Not going to tell me you can legislate for that. 1 hop forward might just so easily have gone forward, stone dead. Game's crooked, you know. Miles Tunnicliffe, he plays some very good golf and then disappears, sort of. It's almost as if he goes walkabout or on safari for a month or 2. But he plays a very tidy game. John Hawksworth is following this, and Ernie seems to be very much out of sorts, John.
Yeah, he's not the player that we're used to seeing. He's pretty good here in the match play, but he can't seem to turn it on in the BMW PGA Championship. But, well, I wouldn't say he's playing badly. It's just nothing happening for him, Peter.
Well, he's you're not used to seeing Ernie Els around one of his favourite courses, 6 over par.
No, but he's got chance here to repair some damage. He's absolutely nailed it down this 12th.
Well, I reckon he's got to finish. He's got to birdie all the par 5s. That's 3 birdies and maybe 1 more, and then he'll be in for the weekend.
There's a few players that have struggled this week that you would expect to have done well, and Ernie's one of them, but it's time to repair the damage.
Well, it's always good to watch Ernie.
A bit of swag in that bag, Peter, don't you reckon?
Swag, yeah. This is a good viewing spot here. We've got some friends who sent me an email yesterday. There's 4 or 5 of the guys, ex-naval boys, who sit up here watching the golf. couple of Johns and a Chris. They're around there somewhere. My mother said, never sit on the grass when it's wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. I have no idea why.
Probably got a wet backside.
Probably, which could lead to other things. Now Miles, a little trundle. This is it looks an absolute doddle, doesn't it? But he's a little bit further down, below the level of the green than it might appear here. And it's not the easiest of shots to just a little bit from right to left. If you hit it too hard at the flag, it can wander away to the right. So you can play a reasonable shot. Now, is he going to flip it up? No, he chips it low. Look at that. See? There it goes. That's pretty good. They play that with one of their most lofted clubs. At the end, they managed to keep the ball very low to the ground. Good control. Well, you know, golf courses, a lot of golf courses are a haven for wildlife, no matter what people might say and criticise, but they are. And Ken's been looking for a bit of the wild side.
There's nothing I like more than those wildlife photography programs. David Attenborough and Bill Oddie, they must spend hours and hours waiting for something to happen. And the birds and the bees are always waffling about. And here, to the right of the 18th, there's an old beech tree. It must be pushing on 100 years, and there's a couple of knots up there, and there's a jackdaw's nest there, just to the right of the 18th green. And I've been waiting here for some time for them to pop in. I know they're about because I can hear them, but you can just wait and wait and wait, and nothing seems to happen. He's tempting, you know, he's got 3 or 4 young in there, he knows he's got to feed them, but he can see us, I think. And he's in, jackpot, straight in the hole. So this week, this 18th hole, there'll be birdies and eagles and people milling around, but the old jackdaws will be in and out of their nest, just trying to round up a few grubs. Isn't nature wonderful?
Oh, they're romantic. They're probably odd watch and ring and sparkly thing in there as well. Now, what's he done? Oh, and he hasn't done anything untoward. Scampers through. That's very good from a 4-line. Jackdaws collect shiny things, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do.
I had a girlfriend like that once.
McGinley. Coming round using the old contours, a bit of local knowledge. Playing with Graham McDowell. Perfect tee shot down this right side, gives you a great view of the green, hitting right up the throat of the putting surface. Oh.
That's a tested little chip from there.
A ridiculously long tee shot here on Casey. Only 88 yards left for his second shot to the 11th hole.
Steady. Well, he was closer at one time. Yeah, when Paul Casey's in full flow and driving well, it's a majestic sight. It's almost like days of Ted Dexter when they used to put willow to leather. Yeah, he used to crack him over the pavilion clock. Casey does the same thing with his driver. Wonderful driver. When everything's clicked into place. Philip Parkin there. Oh, there he is. There's our man on the course. Still got quite a youthful stride for a man of his years. Big hitting amateur, won the amateur championship. They've got a good team here today, some classy players.
Well, at least I'm walking all right these days, eh, Peter?
You are. You look very lively. Very attractive, too, for a man of your age.
Hey, I just had a little chat with Paul Casey about that 9th green, and they were not told that the 9th green was really wet. But then I also spoke to Andy McPhee, and he wasn't aware that it was wet either. So I suppose the tour couldn't tell the guys.
Is this a new sort of tour ruling to make everything perfect for every little player in the world, that you must tell them if we put water on that green or not, because it might give them sleepless nights and drive them to the clinic or one thing like that? I really don't understand all this banter now. There's the course, bumpy, hard, soft, get on with it.
Cool, you'd have been a tough old school teacher, Peter. Oof. Well done. Terrific round of golf from Miles Tunnicliffe. 65 blows equals the course record, and what a splendid back nine. Glorious 2 at the 7th, where he holds his second shot.
Yeah, that doesn't happen too often, but there haven't been too many 2s at the 7th.
Jimenez hit an unbelievable shot to get this close. He was in the heather on the left-hand side. And you know how tough it is playing out of that. Expected the ball to go straight left on him, and he just sort of semi-thinned it and got to this position. But now he's got a very tricky little chip shot. But these Spaniards got a wonderful touch.
This looks as if he's going to blade it, Ken, has he? Hit like, it in the equator, right in the middle there, like that. Look, is he going to? Yeah. I've never really worked that shot out, but it's getting closer. Well, how about that for a touch? That's crown green bowling at its best. Shades of Percy Baker in my youth. Good man with the bowls, you know. Played for Poole, England.
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
188 left for Andres Romero. Huge drive. 12 yards past Ernie Elsby can really attack this flag on the 12th.
Big cut at it, trying to draw it in high from right to left. He's a sweet striker. Oh, magical. Look at that. 12th hole, 531 yards. That could have been no more than a 5-iron.
Amazing, isn't it? Yeah, I think the golf balls have made such a tremendous... have made tremendous progress over the last 40 or 50 years. Of course, the clubs as well, and the tightness of the fairways.
This is an awkward one for Graham McDowell. Almost just has to duff it forward onto the downslope and let it release down.
Well, you might have given him half a dozen goes from there, Paul. He might have got it closer, but as you said, nasty one from the high ground onto a green sloping away.
Yes, it was a real awkward one, Peter, but we just saw David Howell before. He was further away from the green, but on an upslope, and hit one of those Mickelson parachute shots that almost went up his nose and finished within 2 feet of the hole. A remarkable shot from Howell.
Nice to see a variety of shots and people who can play them. The old players of 100 years ago, they must have had some skill, I tell you, with those old hickory clubs and balls that weren't round. Going around St Andrews in 72, 3 and 4 shots with the wind and bunkers not raked. They were some hellers, I tell you.
Up the slope, Paul Casey at the 11th. Hopped a little. Didn't affect it. Hit it firmly enough.
When he's playing well, I can't think of anyone who makes the game look simply. He's got a lovely style of putting. He's powerful. Great to watch.
A putt that requires great touch here from Paul McGinley. Big left to right, swinging down the hill, running away from him all the while.
It's not a million miles away. Not a million miles away, Sir Kenneth. He held 2 or 3 beauties yesterday. That was, well, not an impossible putt, obviously, but he was aiming off about 4 feet. He knows the game, this lad. He doesn't give you any old malarkey. You know what? That was a bonus. That was worth 2 long putts. That was a little beauty. Co-leader now, 9 under. Confirmation 3 at 9. McGinley, though, might tiptoe ahead if he gets in puts a good finish in. Shane O'Donoghue's got Miles Tunnicliffe. A very happy Miles, I bet.
Well, all smiles for Paul McGinley with that birdie. It means he's back into a tie for the lead now with Robert Carlson, and this man who has made his way back to the clubhouse in on 9 under after a fabulous round. What went right there, Miles?
Everything, really. I started off struggling down the first, but then hold a great putt for par, and then hold a lot more putts straight after that. I think I single putted the first 5 greens and then got a 7 and hold my second shot. So it was one of those days where you just got to go with it. When it's going well, you just got to keep it going. Yeah.
What did you hit into 7? Because it's such a tricky green.
Yeah. A little 9-iron, little low 9-iron, just pitched just before the flag, just passed and spun back down the hill into the hole.
Now, you bogeyed the 9th, which seems to be causing a few problems for a lot of players out there today. Simon Wakefield said that he reckoned that the sprinklers were left on all night. Was it a bit peculiar for you?
I didn't hit a good tee shot. I hit my tee shot off to the right in the bunker and couldn't reach the green, and hit a good layup, but not a good. Probably the green was very damp. My ball came. I was playing for it to jump forward, and it stopped dead on the spot. And with my 3rd shot and 2 putted for bogey. Sorry.
Now, you had a couple of bogeys out there, but you have equalled the course record of 65. That must be very pleasing. What about the weekend now for Miles Tunnicliffe?
Yeah, that's my best round around this course for a long time. It's taken me a while to get used to this course. Gradually getting better every year I play. So I'm just going to try and keep doing the same things I've done the first 2 days, fairways and greens, and see if we can roll those putts in. Great 65, 9 under in total, tied for the lead. Thanks for talking to us and the best of luck. Thanks very much. You're welcome.
2-time winner on the European Tour, Miles Tunnicliffe, just tiptoeing up to 40. Been a good steady player in the last 5 or 6 years.
Had an interesting email in, Ken, from just John. He says he's not a regular visitor to tournaments, but he's amazed how many spectators are dressed as players. It's interesting, you know, they've got polo socks, visors, shoes, waterproofs, etc. And he said he waited for 10 minutes to see one fella drive off and then discovered he was queuing up to get an ice cream. Oh, John, he said, I despair. He said, I don't know who to watch. Quite right, there are a lot of spectators dressed in golfing kit. Paul, oh, they're all looking smart now. But White was in yesterday. It always looks like as if they were auditioning for a role in ER, one of those American medical TV shows. But it's all the rage.
176 yards to this flag on the 14th for Paul McGinley. He's chosen a 6-iron, but we've spoken about how difficult this green is to get the ball close. Only 2 paces over the ridge, the pin here today.
Sounded nice. Now stay up. Oh, it's right on the crest. And nice.
So you do it? I can't remember anyone. Maybe Harry Wheatman, the Grady hitting Shropshire lad, got there with us 6 years ago. But Dougherty at the 12th for a birdie. Just left of set. Looks good. Oh, that fairly rattled in. He was in trouble, laid up short of the ditch, pitched it up. Not a particularly good pitch. Hold the putt. 4 and a birdie and a smile.
th and David Howell aiming down the right, so he must be trying to draw this in. 6-iron and go on. Oh. 2 foot less on that, and it's back right to the front of the green. Great shot. Just got to pitch it in the little tier.
Ramiro for a birdie. And yes, very short little putt for a birdie. Nicely done.
Graham McDowell's got to follow those 2 great tee shots. Also chosen a 6-iron here. Not a breath of wind.
Three excellent shots. Chris from North Yorkshire is asking, is there a set amount of par 3s, 4s and 5s on a golf course? Well, a proper course, 18 holes you might say. Usually the balance is, Chris, there are 4 par 3s, 4 par 5s and the rest are 4s. Some great courses have a great mix. I think the Berkshire Golf Club, lovely course not far from here. One of the courses there, they have 2. They have 6 3s, 6 4s and 6 5s. And it's a lovely test of golf, an absolute delight. So it's just trying to get the balance right so that the yardage are both 9s, so sort of balance up. You see there, if you look down the left-hand side, the middle, there 3,520 yards the first 9 holes, 3,800 on the homeward run. So a few hundred yards longer. And that's not often you find a course of 35 out, the par 35-37, making 72 in all, with a total of 7,320 yards. And so it's a fair race, a good old walk, 4 or 5 miles around the course. If you play with some of my friends, you do about 12 miles. And I wonder how many of these 3 gladiators will walk off this green with a 2.
How many do you think?
1.
That would be the bookmaker's favourite.
And I wouldn't like to say who that one will be, because they've all got very holeable putts. Sometimes it's the furthest one away holes first, the others can follow in, or the last one misses because he's thinking, I played the best shot, they both hold it. I'm now going to miss. Howell's going to come. It's fairly straight at the green. Liddell's got a little bit of movement on this. Maybe McGinley as the easiest one.
15th and little one up the slope for Chilean Aguilera. Giving it a good run. Oh, been superb form this year. I mean, the European Tours have got a very international bunch of members.
It's a very good tour now, Ken. I mean, I know Ken Schofield and George O'Grady worked tremendously hard and with a great staff, taking the events all around the world in an effort to keep the pot boiling, to keep you know, 700 or 800 pros in work, you might say, for 10 months, 11 months in the year. Not an easy thing to do, and they've done it quite brilliantly.
Here's a chance to see this quite interesting swing. Phil Parkins down there. How far has he left himself?
218 yards after a perfect tee shot. Does make the game look easy when he's on.
And he just keeps hitting it straight, Paul. He keeps hitting it straight, Philip, and you know, like that. He's just the mechanical man, I would call him. He's just a lovely player, delightful partner to have in a foursome or a greensome, similar to the style of play. John Panton, the great Scottish professional years ago, Ryder Cup player, World Cup player, used to keep the ball in play, putt nicely.
It's worth a look at his swing, how the club sort of goes out, then it goes right behind him, and then from the top of the swing he reroutes it, gets it in the perfect spot. Very reliable, super release through it. So a little loopy swing, but he's worked on it for hours and hours, and it works
Bobby
well.
Jones, one of the greatest players of all time, way back when. He used to be inside and then over and out, but he made it all work. Come on, young Paul. No. And then there were 2.
Well, all 3 of these players are putting well this week, but it's quite an awkward bit of green to read, so a bit more pace needed on Paul's putt.
It's a bit of a saucy shirt, isn't it? Bit of, cool, blimey.
Yet again, a ridiculously long tee shot from Casey, and he's hitting it straight as well. This one's just over 340 yards, although he's 27 yards behind where Angel Cabrera hit it this morning. He just went in with a 9-iron, whereas Casey's going in with a 7-iron. But it's just a different world when you're watching these guys.
Oh, nice shot, comfortable shot. Par 5, remember, just driving a 7-iron or something. I can't believe Cabrera hit a 9-iron in here this morning or yesterday, whenever it was. Philip, amazing.
Got to play the par 5s well here at Wentworth. There's 4 of them. They all offer birdie chances. The winner has always made his fair share of birdies on the long holes. Probably the easiest of the putts because it's straight up the green for Howell. Nope.
And then there was 1. Very interesting finish, the last 5 holes here on the west course, the par 3 up the hill, and there goes the wind against. It's a hard finish now, McDowell. The last one to have a chance, little bit of swing. Has he done it? Has he got it? Yeah.
Oh, you're the man.
Yeah, my man. Just level par, 2 under overall.
Three great drives down here on 13. Dougherty 142, Els 146, and Romero 144. You could put a blanket over them. Els has got 146 yards. Just slightly uphill, climbs up about 16 feet. Can't see the bottom of the flag. Needs to get going.
Would have been a very different course when it was first opened. Hardly any trees here. It would have been a heathland course. Over the years, it's gradually turned into much more of a parkland-looking course. The heather's kind of disappeared in most places.
Seems to have a 7-year span. I remember a horticulturist telling me a lot of heather sort of has a 7-year run and dies away. A fire, strange enough, does a heather a lot of good. Have a good old fire and it comes back again. Takes a bit of time. But here's Romero. Not a pretty swing, but my word, he gets the job done.
142 for Romero. Perfect angle, right-hand side of the fairway. This is all over the flag.
Good shot.
Big swinging putt for Soren Kjeldsen. He's always had that Bernard Langer style putting. 5 under.
The 12th now. Paul Casey.
This is for a second eagle of the day to get to 5 under par.
Good hit. That was a good strike. Nice birdie.
When you first played here, Peter, how many par 5s were there on the golf course then?
About the same number. The first was a 5. I remember playing here once when it was October time. I think it was old Ballantine, the whiskey tournament. I think there were 8 or 9 holes which were 2 woods. I mean, it was really long. The ball just plugged and came out the way. The first, the third, the fourth, the 9th, 12, 13, I think. And then, of course, you had 17 and 18, 15, 17, 18. It was a monster course. This for an eagle after that cracking shot into the green.
This would be worth an ice cream.
He deserves it. 2 perfect shots so far.
Got it. Smooth as silk.
Creeping up the leaderboard, 5 under for his round. Currently it's Carlson, Tunnicliffe and McGinley all at 9 under. Gary Orr 4 under for his round, coming up the 18th. 6 under in total, and found the fairway, so the green just about in range at this par 5.
Oh, plunged straight into the bunker. Nice to see Gary Orr back on the circuit hitting well. He's had some few health problems. Pride of Burr Hill and that neighbourhood. And some good golf played. a little special treat for father. He nicked the chocolate one. I've got the raspberry one or something. A raspberry ripple, but it's very good. Test your old teeth out.
Caught red-handed, Peter.
Could have been worse. I can think of situations that could have been worse.
Not another one. Nicely judged.
Wasn't a million miles away. The right idea. The golfers perked up today. They've all got their memories back, or whatever it is. They're a lot of nice shots, better scoring. But still, one or two of the big names are struggling. Only else they're on the right. He's 5 over par at the moment. One feels he's got to get at least 2 or 3 birdies. Sean, what do you think?
I think I agree with you. He's got to hold this, but he's a big swinger from left to right. Of course, he's seen how Dougherty's runs. Just left himself the wrong side of the flag, so it's a quick downhiller touch putt.
Come on, Ernie. Good finish. We'll see you here for the weekend. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Odd loose shot and not much happening on the greens, and doesn't matter where you are ranked in the world, this golf is a bit tricky.
Well, it's not only putting though, Ken, in all truth, he's driven some poor shots and found trouble and just hasn't fired.
Now the ball plummeted in here, and sometimes it can plug, so let's see how it reacts when it comes out. Oh, it did skip forward, but I think he found a decent lie. I'll have that for a birdie. Second green and the 18th green relayed. You can just see the odd area of turf. Romero. All right, get up. A winner this year on the PGA Tour in America, one in New Orleans.
Yeah, I can tell you that took them by surprise, Ken. Youngster they'd really not heard of at all, and he played beautifully there. I was saying yesterday, it's very it's easy to forget that he damn near won the Open Championship at Carnoustie. I mean, he was very close, 2 holes, 1.5 holes from home.
Bangs it in. Ernie 5 over, Nick Dougherty 3 under, and Romero 3 under. Just see where this pin is cut today in the back right-hand corner of the putting surface. Really does affect the strategy off the tee. Long par 4, so ideally if you can drive down the left-hand side of this fairway, it gives you a look at the green, and the slope on the green helps you to hold the ball. And if you drift down the right, you're completely unsighted. So an interesting, tough par 4. This one, the hardest on the course. Doesn't give you many birdies, but drive down the left makes things a lot easier.
David Howell spanks one away. Is it just moving left to right? Yes, and that's an excellent result. It'll just go off the back, probably.
Well, this 3-ball a long way back off the tee. They all hit irons from the tee. Graham McDowell now left with 233 yards back to this flag. He's got a 4-iron out. That's a big biff because there is no wind helping him here at all.
230 odd yards with a 4-iron. That's immense. Picked it off the top of the grass, hardly bruised the blades. Plenty of club, my word. Paul McGinley seems to be playing well within himself. Paul is going along nicely, isn't he? Seems to be under control.
Yes, he is. McGinley loves to move the ball around. Lots of shots, lots of variety, and certainly yesterday in those testing conditions, that's what was required. 2-3-1 here. Big high 4-iron for McGinley.
Needs to hurry and hook a little.
Oh, fortunate. A little nudge off the bank, threw it down to the back corner. So he was unlucky and unlucky there. Stop, that's not bad. Long putt, but uphill should not be too bad for 2 putts.
He's admiring it as he got the length right, Nick Dougherty. No, oh, it's clung there. My goodness, that is actually, must be just at the top of the slope.
.172 yards for Andreas up the hill. Tough shot really, because it's 169 to the top of the slope, and as we know, anything big here you are dead, but with the stand at the back of the green, it makes the flag look a little bit closer, but climbing up some 18 feet you can't see the bottom of the pin, and it's just slightly into the breeze, so there's a big 6-iron.
This man can hit big anythings and always leaked it. Hips a bit quick, always goes right.
Well, he was aiming left there, I thought. He's found the green, but will it stick? Will it? Will it? Will it? Now he's got a cross slope putt there, so really you should be happy with 2 putts from there.
Gary, come on Gary. Tricky one down the slope, little short backswing.
Oh, no. Slid away, so it's only a par to finish with. Pity, he played a good shot out of the bunker, but that's a nasty slidey little putt down the hill. With a 68, not a good start, you see, 5.35, and then well, and that little missed putt at the end, but a very nice round.
Dangerous as though he's just knocking out the old pro, not taking any gambles on, nudging it back into play. Good pitch and a putt, and you might wriggle out with a par. Three tied at the top. Paul McGinley was still 4 holes left to play, 9 under par. 5 under par for Simon Wakefield, around his 71. Super 66 for Oliver Wilson. A few more birdies today. Luke Donald round in a very neat, tidy 69 to be at 3 under. Left-handed Richard Green, the Australian, 3 under. Paul Lawrie, 3 under. A few Scotsmen on that page. Alistair Forsyth and Mark Warren. 65 and ties make the cut. They're currently 1 over par. It's tied for 60th, and 67th is 2 over, so it looks like between 1 and 2 over. Probably go to 2 over, but you never can tell.
Well, this to take the lead for Paul McGinley. Didn't quite get that iron shot that he was playing in here, and fortunate to finish here is in a good part of the green, actually putting straight back up the slope. That would have been better than a short bunker shot anyway. This to go to 10 under.
Oh, you little beauty. One in a million on the 13th.
Tell you what, Irish eyes are smiling. That was an outrageous putt up there. Left the flag in. It tried to get out. It was fighting the flag stick and just gobbled it up. Can't get over that shirt. A bit of... Wow. Ooh. He leads. Gave it a good old crack, and it's really travelling up, moving left to right. Watch it swing round. Ooh, did a full circuit and then in. I think we'd have hit the flag and not gone in, he'd have still been reasonably happy from such long range. But a 3, what a bonus.
He's third, having driven in the sand.
Yeah, I've seen those spin from there and end up quite near the hole, but not on that occasion. Yeltsin now at the 12th. He's going this to go to 7 under, but putting from off the green, and he's not a million miles away. That's a birdie. 6 under. He's been around a year or two now. He's played 1 or 2 good seasons and then sort of disappeared off the scene, but he's not too bad. Shane's found an interesting person to interview. It's Gary Orr.
Gary, a great round of 68 in your second round here at Wentworth in the BMW. Can you explain to us, in the context of your year so far, how important that round was?
Well, it was pleasing, obviously, because I didn't go off to a great start, so I was delighted to shoot 68 in the end. But yeah, I haven't played a lot of tournaments yet, but I've been playing okay, just not really putting good rounds together like that. So that was pleasing today.
So you had the medical extension. How are you physically?
Good, yeah. I mean, my back problems last year. I damaged a disc in my spine last year, so I had a sort of 3-month spell out and missed a big chunk of the season. So back feels good now, no problems.
Okay, how focused are you now for the remainder of the season, and certainly this run of big tournaments coming up? It's got to get you fired up now to put in some more good performances, surely.
Yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed playing at Wentworth. I've played well here a few times. It's a course I really enjoy playing. So it's a week I look forward to as well, and obviously a good round today helps you enjoy it more.
You're just 4 behind. Paul McGinley has jumped ahead again to 10 under, but are you happy with 6 at the moment?
Yeah, obviously you'd like to be closer, but you know, after a shaky start, I played well, so I'm quite happy with 6 under.
Let's get back out onto the course. Thanks very much, Gary.
Thank you.
Long. Dougherty there putting out, and Ken's come off for a break, and Andrew Cotter's back in, and it's better standard than yesterday, Andrew.
It's night and day, and I think the reasons are that moisture, that rain that we had overnight, and a few showers this morning, and the greens just aren't crusting up quite as much as they were yesterday afternoon. Way down the right-hand side of the 14th there. And we might find John Hawksworth. John, come in.
Yeah, I've got something. Well, I'm stood here with a gentleman called Mike Dickinson. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good afternoon, John. Thank you.
Now, this is a fantastic little contraption you've got here. I think all on-course commentators should have one of these.
I definitely do, but you need the 4 wheels so you don't tip over.
Now, where did you get this from?
I hired it from the people just inside by the BMW. They're hiring for people like me that's got a problem with my knee.
Now, it's a bit of a special day for you. What is it?
It's my birthday, so therefore it's a day out watching the golf.
Now, we know you've got a dodgy knee, but I can see you've got air conditioning. Have you got a CD player in it or anything like that? It's a wonderful little... How much is this for the day?
£17.
Right, £17. Well, I think, as you've got on telly today, I'll have one of these tomorrow. I think Parky and myself and Paul Eales should be out on the golf. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, very much so, yeah. It's very good.
I suppose you've been everywhere on the golf course in that?
Yeah, I've been all the way around. I haven't been far out, but I've been all the way around to the 4th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and also up here.
Well, we've seen a couple of other buggies up here before. It was like gridlock out here, but I think this is the way to commentate, boys.
Yeah.
Not for you, John, but I think it's a great idea. It's a relatively new innovation to provide little carts for slightly handicapped people to get around the course and watch the golf, and it's very, very popular. Now, Casey.
Birdies at 11 and 12. Doesn't want to halt that run with a blemish. Oh, what an effort from Casey. That's the way to save par. Tidy up and down. He'll remain 4 under for the tournament. When the galleries start to feed down through these holes and funnel down through the trees on the same green, Jimenez from the back. Will this tumble on and tumble down? No, coming up a little bit shy.
Well, when he hit it, I thought he'd miscued it altogether. It only just landed on the green, and it got down within 4 feet or so. Give me a lass that likes a pint. Get it down, you girl. We'll get together later. So when they do that and there's still half an inch left in the bottom and it squirts all over you, that it doesn't go down too well. And they stuff one glass inside the other. Good day out for the fans. I'd like to say a special hello to a very talented young viewer who's watching today. Stuart Mangan from Fermoy in County Cork. He's watching today's golf from the rehabilitation unit at Stanmore Hospital in Middlesex. He's a great young sportsman. And many people here thinking of you, Stuart. A special love from Lorna and all your family, and get yourself better soon. Hope you're enjoying the golf. Here's a putt for you. Jimenez holds out, but that's a 5. He drove in the bunker and drop shot, but an eagle at the previous hole, so 3 and 5 is 8, so 2 4s. That's equivalent to a birdie and a par. So if you sort of, I know, have that, son. See, my lucky day.
So McGinley now out on his own after that showboating birdie putt at the 15th. 10 under par, the first man to double figures. Robert Carlson, Miles Tunnicliffe, Oliver Wilson all finished. Carlson, Tunnicliffe 9 under par. And Gary Orr, we just heard from him a moment ago, the man from Helensburgh, 68 as well in that large group on 6 under par. Jimenez, Kelson and Fraser still with chances to improve. Now we've seen the scoring has been fantastic today, and how long and hard the players study the yardages to get them correct out in the course, to fire them at the pins, and Ken's been finding out more.
One of the key things for a player this week in their equipment is the yardage book. This is from the last 3 years. This is this year's BMW Championship 2008, and the course is measured out from different places on the golf course, from all sorts of different spots. Well, in the old days, we used to measure the course like this. We'd take a spot, say the back of the bunker on the left-hand side, and you'd pace it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right to the front of the green, 7, 8, 9, and used to write it down, very basic. Well, things moved on in the mid-70s. Graham Marsh came over with his caddy, and he had one of these, a true meter. And we started measuring the course like this. Nick Faldo was the first player with one of these. I was following after. It was in 1977. This was the greatest thing. No more counting, no more pacing, eliminating mistakes. You set it on 0 and pushed it from your point to the front of the green. We thought we were high tech. We were moving forward. Less inaccuracies. Well, over the last few years, something new's come in. Laser measurers. Absolutely pinpoint accurate. No more mistakes. Simple to use. You look at the flag, press the button, and it tells you exactly how far you've got, 115 yards. So no more excuses. Another thing the Tour have done, it was a few years ago now, they put a spot on the fairway. There's a few of those paced down the fairway about 30 yards apart, so the players are measured from these spots on the fairways. Again, makes things a little easier. So there's no excuses. You've got the right yardage. If there's any mistakes made these days, it's because you've mishit it. Pinpoint accurate, laser measurer. Easy to go over the water as well. In the old days we had to estimate over the water. So these have revolutionised things. Great. No excuses now for the wrong club.
I don't know how they take 5 hours to go around. They ought to get around in 2 hours and 20 minutes with all this kit helping them. Jimenez at the 14th, up the hill he goes. Steady. No. The laser makes sense. So the wheel was fine, but of course you go up and down little humps and hollows, and it was never an accurate distance. The laser one is perfectly accurate, much better.
Well, just an iron off the tee for Graham McDowell, but unfortunately pulled it into the bunker, and he's too close to the front face of this trap to be able to get it onto the green. 148 yards he is away from the flag, but just a wedge here. I don't think he can get it to the green.
We shall see the pin all the way up the back as well today. Friendly bunkers, shallow bunkers, but if you're near the face, you've got a decision, a dilemma.
This is a dangerous one, Andrew. But you know, we say it every year. We'll be saying the same thing in September, October when we're here for the match play Championship, the 16th hole, the number of times we see players in these bunkers or even in the trees on the left under 400 yards, it's just beggars belief, really. They make such hard work of it. Seemed to hit it well as he got the right distance. That could spin. Oh no. Well, he had to get it up and forward, and that's the best he could do. He's a powerful hitter, but he's 50 odd yards or more from the flag.
David Howell finding the middle of the fairway. Only missed 2 fairways yesterday, and he's been very accurate so far today off the tee. Just an iron shot from the tee left leaves him 144. It's a tight pin here on the back of this green. The green does narrow the further up you go, and he doesn't want to miss it long either.
If this ends up dead centre of the green, you're never very far from the hole, and you're not taking any risk like that. Stay. Yeah, that sun sat down, didn't spin back. Perfect result.
It's come back very well, Hull. Double bogey 7, 8, and birdies at 12 and 15, and perhaps one now at 16.
Oh, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. He's got a quiver. Oh, don't know, that was good. Oh yeah, that'll slip down a tree there.
His leg will start going, dreaming of chasing rabbits.
They only knew, they only knew who was watching. Come on now, young McGinley. Oh, that one went away from the flag. Not bad, but you see 10, 12 paces from the hole. Might have done better. I spent a very interesting half an hour at lunchtime down in the tented village with the Macmillan Cancer Support Team. They're launching a Portuguese golf club, which is based down in the West Country somewhere. They're supporting 4 balls for cancer, and it's a tremendous thing.
186 for Andres Romero. Slightly downhill, no breeze here on 15. 8-iron.
You're right, Ed. It's a really artisan, ugly swing. I mean, it's just a fact, it is. But it's he gets the club head back on line to the ball, and he's got a very good golfing brain. Very good.
2 yards closer for Nick. 184, slightly better angle just down the left. 8-iron for him as well. Needs to jump left.
Perhaps he's a little unlucky. I've seen some balls spin down from there. Once they get moving, they can end up by the hole. That's not an easy putt from there, so settle for 2 putts now, and if it drops in, that's an added bonus.
Thomas Bjorn. They need some special dust to fall upon him in the last few holes. 5 over. 4 over. There's the grin. Can still be done. 1 over par, the projected cut at the moment. 3 more.
Third shot for McDowell. 16th. Pretty good.
A very similar line, similar sort of distance to Thomas Bjorn, his playing partner Jimenez. I'll give him that one.
A bit generous.
I was always like that.
Bit generous. Yeltsin, who's going along very well, 6 under. This to go 7, and he's done it. He's done it. He's a tinker. He's done it. Wow, look at that. 3 birdies in a row. Not a 5 inside. That's beautifully played round so far. He could put in a stout finish.
Played so well in the Volvo Masters last year in that playoff with Justin Rose and Simon Dyson. Now another birdie putt in the 14th. Has he given it enough? No.
Not quite enough. Just to finish off that Macmillan thing, the Macmillan Cancer Support, you know, they have Macmillan nurses. I'm sure they have those wherever you live. They'll do a marvellous... I had no idea this began in 1910, so long ago. McGinley, come on, he hasn't hit it. Right on line. But I think he's going along very, very nicely. If he could take no more than 9 shots over the next 2 holes, I'm sure McGinley would wander home tonight in a very happy state of mind. That would make him give him around a 68 if he does the final 2 in 9 shots.
This is the one I gave him a moment ago. That was a confident stroke from Jimenez. Barrel-chested Spaniard. I mean that in the most complimentary fashion.
Pigeon-chested. So there's a pigeon-chested.
It's pigeon-chested with concave.
I used to have it. Someone said I had a good chest until my stomach took on a life of its own. McDowell for a par 4 on this innocent 16th. Come on, come on, have another go. Oh, lummy. That was a bit fiery, I must say. Wow. Phew, all right, shake of the head. Oh, what the hell are you doing? David Howell, usually a very safe putter. Rather rigid, one away from the ball, stiff arms, back through and in. Oh, it just decided to give itself up. Well done. Yeah.
For a hole the length there is, you don't see that many birdies, which that was from Howell. Back to 2 under.
Caddies were always a big part of the game. There were great stories over the years about caddies. They were vagabonds and rogues, a lot of them. A very sophisticated bunch of travellers they are today. A very interesting crowd of fellows. This for a 5 and a bogey. Iron off the tee, pulled it in the bunker and hold a 4-footer for a 5. Had an email in from a gentleman saying, thought I heard mention the Selsey Golf Club. Well, we were talking about centenaries, and of course there's a number of them going around at the more in Wilbury, those in Denby. Selsey down in Sussex. Yes, it was bought, in fact, by Max Falkner's father, Gus. Just after the Second World War, they were in financial straits. It went for about, £7,000 or £8,000, I think. And that's where Max practiced and built himself up and won the Open Championship in 1951. It's still going strong now, the Selsey Club, and celebrating 100 years.
Look at them all the way back there, up on that new tee at the 17th. 610 from the tips, not quite that today, but still a massive hole all the way around the corner. And guess who's been out having a look at this par 5?
The 17th, a par 5, not a bunker on it, but it's one of the most demanding tee shots on the golf course. Out of bounds down the left-hand side there in the hedge. Just, well, it's 28 paces off the fairway. And you've got to flirt with that if you're going to get on the fairway here, because this week, this ground is much, much firmer. So you've got to go up this left-hand side here, and just watch how the ball runs. It's kicking down to the right-hand side. So you've got to flirt with that out of bounds to hold the ball on the fairway. And with it being so firm this year, this is going to be a tough tee shot. A lot of players may go with a 3-wood. Ideally off the tee if you can, you want to hit a bit of a right to left draw to try and hold it into this slope. Difficult to do with out of bounds left. Watch this tee shot this week because it's going to be demanding, difficult. May even see a few irons on off the tee. And if you get snagged up on this left-hand side, you can see the green is in that direction, the trees are in the way. This tee shot, the most difficult on the golf course, particularly with a firm fairway.
You're not wrong there, Ken. This is a frightening hole. But the tee up at the top was built originally in 1953 for the Ryder Cup matches. It was about 10 foot by 6 foot. It was never really used. But in those days there were 2 huge fir trees where the road goes across. Huge, tremendous trees, 100-foot high, which made that gap very much narrower. They blew down or rotted away, fell down in the 87 gale. And now it's a wider tee shot, but still very frightening, Paul.
It certainly is, Peter, with that out of bounds down the left-hand side, as you say. We were here a couple of hours ago to watch Luke Donald's match play here, and it was into the wind and raining, and Luke barely carried the road here. But now Hal's looking at the fact that it's 342 yards to run out of the fairway down the right-hand side.
Rare cries at 4. That means it is wide. Well, it depends if it gets a lie. It's all trampled down in there. May get a... Maybe better there actually than in the rough just inside the ropes. Of course, maybe worse. Who knows? That was a wide.
Well, Paul McGinley's statistics have been superb all year, and he's proud of the fact that he's 5th in greens in regulation, and he's hit all the fairways yesterday, bar 2. He certainly needs a good one down here. He's got the length if he can get a good tee shot away here to do what Ken said, bound it from left to right, that he can get home here in 2. 610 yards.
Oh, green and white tee of the Irishman and the Celtic fan. Just a slight lean.
Once you go into the heavier rough, it's a 3-shotter. Well, I said if he finishes 5-4, if he finishes 5-5, it's not the end of the world.
Back to the 15th after that shot. He looked really disenchanted with it after he hit it, but still a birdie chance for Nick Dougherty. Lovely pace. Quite slick from up there.
Well, I had the fortune of playing with Graham in the Pro-Am on Wednesday with Mr. Paul Davis, our producer. And Graham showed us how to go on a number of holes, and he drove the ball really, really well. Very straight flight, but like Ken said, he probably needs just a hair of right to left here just to hold it into the slope.
There's that twirl of the club, the signature of a golfer who's pleased with his work. That was absolutely perfect. Landing to the inch just on the fairway and down to the middle, just about where Ken was chucking those balls.
Yes, he may be able to see the green from there. Now 14th now, up the hill, the last of the short holes. Yeltsin now 7 under. Come on, and that's a beauty, a beauty. Oh, what arms, like steel bands there. Mean, moody, magnificent. McGrain here, the winner McGrain, winner in China 2-3 weeks ago, played in with fine style. Late comer to the game. Well, been around a long time, but he's now in his middle to late 30s, I think, and he's showing some cracking form. Look at this. Look at this. That's a 2, certainly.
Here's a man with his own swing and in a bit of trouble. Jimenez down the left of 15. That's a gouge. Work. It works well. Sit down now. It's a very good result from there. Even where it settles, even where it finishes. That's coming back up the slope. Playing with Paul Casey.
Deceptively powerful, isn't he? He's not a big man, but he takes it back slowly. It doesn't appear to hit the ball hard. He's let that drift away and crashes down in the bunker, but that's just a misdirected shot. Yeltsin now for a birdie at the 14th. Just a little bit of movement on this. Nope. Wide. For those of you left-handers, on the Sunday the 8th of June, Newton Moor up in Scotland, they're holding their Scottish Left-Handers Championship, which attracted quite a good entry last year. Robin Catanach is the... so it's the Newton Moor Golf Club up in Scotland for you lefties. McGrain after that. No, it's not McGrain, that's somebody else. That looks like our friend from faraway places. Schwarzel. There's McGrain, he's just a little tiddler. This for a 2. Very nicely done. He's a gentle little... I don't know what he might be. Certainly doesn't look like a sort of athlete. I mean, saying that in the kindest possible way. He doesn't look like a bank manager or anything, but he's there, look. He's on the bottom of that leaderboard, Damien McGrain. But McGinley it is, with a couple of holes left. In trouble, or off the fairway at the 17th. But a 5 and a... If he could do a 5 and... Oh, it's not too good. We could squirt it through with a bit of luck. Needs luck here.
Well, he certainly does, Peter. He's got 2 gaps that he could go through. One on the left that he needs a little bit of left to right shape to get him to the top of the hill, or a tighter gap that he can squeeze it through on a more direct line. But he mustn't lift the ball more than maybe 8 feet in the air, because some 20 yards in front of him, some overhanging branches. So it's not the first ones that he needs to look out for, it's the second ones. And if that ball climbs, he could be in real trouble.
Paul, he's looking at that tighter gap, but he's also looking at his backswing. We can see the 2 gaps. Just where his head is there, that's the wider gap, and just to the right of that tree where his head is now, that's the narrower gap. Fizz it through there, but also watch your backswing and watch that you don't take... Well, if he knocked a leaf off there, that would be...
Yeah, that's a hard rule, I think. If you don't, it's to stop people sort of taking up teams' practice swings to clear a passage. But I think if he tries to be too greedy here and hits one of those trees and ricochets back to the right, if he can I think he's aiming too far right, but he may be in fact going through that big gap on the left. Get it out 30 or 40 yards up the fairway if you can. You can still reach the green with a big iron, still get a 5, don't take 7. And once he starts his swing, if he clatters into those branches above, he's got to keep going. Then there's no penalty if leaves come off.
He's right down in the metal of the shaft there, below the grip.
He's got to commit to his shot here.
Did he get through, Paul? It sounded all right.
Yeah, perfect there, Peter. Well played.
See, when he takes it back, as he takes it into these branches, now you think, have I taken... Well, that was a practice win. Now, if he disturbed any branches there, he runs the risk of a penalty. It really is a very, very harsh rule. But, of course, over the years, some unscrupulous people have a few practice swings and break a few branches, and nobody noticed. And I whack it on the fairway. Now, McGinley settled down here, Paul, but he can chase it 180, 60, 70 yards.
Yeah, it's a horrible lie, Pete. He's just chosen a 7-iron to get to the top of the ridge.
That's a good punch. Good run. Okay. Caught the rough, doing its best, but really missed the fairway. But he can see the green from there, but it'll settle now for a 5.
To Jimenez on the 15th. Little pitch to study here, just moving a little bit from left to right. Hit it. Not the finest in his collection.
Perfect position for Andres Romero, although we can't see the bottom of the flag. 119 yards, just a wedge. Mustn't go long though, massive bank behind the green.
That worked out. It's worked out wonderfully well, but it doesn't always happen when you want it to. So just take what you got and get on with it.
After that rather heavy-handed chip. Far better putt. The putt makes amends, apologises for the chip, and remains at 6 under.
He's almost sort of relentless, isn't he? He's like a Jack Russell. He's always at your heels, you know, you can't shake him off.
268 yards to go for Graham McDowell, just chosen the hybrid, the little 5-wood that was.
Big round top tree is the perfect line if he can do it. Fairway kinks a bit down then. If he can find it, find the short grass, the fairway. Has done it. If it comes. Just a wee bit short, but a good shot. That's one of the best we've seen. One of the best we've seen.
Now Casey found the front right bunker with his second shot on the 15th. A lot of movement from right to left in this one. Pace and line, perfect. Jimenez and Casey putting exhibition in the 15th.
2 very good putts. A left to right or a right to left, and they walk off looking sort of, well, it's no bother, but should so easily have dropped a shot, both of them there, but they didn't. And they remain nicely poised, but McGinley still leads the way. Richard Green, I saw him doing a little practice chipping. That's why he's a very, very confident looking player. Robert Jan Dirksen from the Netherlands, good round from him. And there is one of the lefties. Well, you can go and play at Newton Moor in June up in Scotland, the left-handed championship, and if you can play it like this fella, just a little bit more, but a good shot.
And back Howell after fizzing that ball out of the trouble down the right-hand side.
90.
What's the front?
91.
91 to the front.
191 to the front, plus 8. Just leaving David Howell a 5-iron here.
Be right, honey. Be right, honey.
Be right, honey. Says it twice, and it's a base. Gorgeous shot. 191 yards travelled, 194. The drive was horrid. May yet yield a birdie. Good to see him back playing well.
Yeah, absolutely right. Well, we've already mentioned this week so many young players coming on, which is a delight to see. I've had an email from Mike O'Shea from the Gosfield Lake Club in Essex, a course designed by Sir Henry Cotton. Oh, it was Henry Cotton then. Got a knighthood later. They've set up the Sir Henry Cotton Bursary. They raise money every year. They have a dinner on the 31st of May supporting young golfers in that neck of the woods. So good luck to them.
Well, Paul's just found an awkward lie, sat down in the heavy rough. 9-iron he's got, 155 yards to go to the flag, but no green to work with at all. Almost got to land it short of the apron and hope that it'll bumble forward. and down onto the green. Difficult shot to get close here for McGinley.
He ripped through it. Oh, glorious. Lovely golf from Howell, from McGinley. He may be in front, but he's not backing off, Paul McGinley. When he won the Volvo Masters, and it seems a while ago now, horrible time since then, but when he won the Volvo Masters, he did so front-running and playing stunning golf.
He had a very good amateur record. Now, he's a very good player. I think he may be a little bit too tough on himself, but he should have been a bigger earner. Dougherty's gone left. I've always been a fan of McGinley. He's been a nice player, good player. Never seemed to hold any putts, but he's in a groove now. And Dougherty's a very talented young player, but he's in and out, up and down. Nelson in trouble. Couldn't get away with it.
It's got a little rescue club out. If ever the name was to live up to it. Looks to have squirted off sideways. Casey's bunker.
To the 16th green. Romero. Andres Romero, 72 yesterday.
Great chance for Andres Romero. I keep wanting to call him Eduardo, but of course, same countryman. Flattest part of the green.
Little more pace, just fell across the face of the hole. Just short of 3 or 4 inches more speed on that was in. That's one of the subtleties, the slyness, as Andrew calls it here at the greens at Wentworth. Little borrows and runs. I think it's a feature of a lot of the courses in this neck of the woods. I don't know why. Perhaps it's the subsoil or something. You can't have azaleas and rhododendrons and perfect greens as well.
This is Felipe Aguilar, man from Santiago in Chile. Along steadily, 4 under par for an eagle. An eagle for Aguilar. That is the way to finish a round. Thank you, boss. I love you.
Saves a lot of aggravation with the putter.
That's a 4-3 finish for a 67.
Can be done, you see, and you can have a huge turnarounds over these last, well, from the 14th home, really. Richard Green for a par at the 14th, and he's low. He moves away. The Rill ladies are celebrating tonight their 100th birthday at dinner at the club. Oh, that'll be fun, I reckon. Rill ladies dressing in 1908 clothes. Corsets and all that. Here we are. He's got it, has he? No, he hasn't. Oh, 1908, crinolines and all that. The ladies of Rill, 100 years of golf. North Wales. Oh, have a lovely evening, ladies. Leave the men at home. Very meticulous. You see how the arms away from the body and everything moves in one piece. He's become a very good putter, David.
That third shot almost deserved better. Just a bit of a misread. Now 11 under beckons in a 2-shot lead.
Well, after that stunning 9-9 there from Paul McGinley, it really was a top quality shot. Can he make this? Ali, my backpacker, is a Rangers fan, and as we walked past I said, Ali, what's the line on this one? He said, I don't care, he supports Celtic.
They take it quite seriously up there. Good view. Has he done it? Yes, he has. Pace was perfect. And the line was pretty good. Another birdie for McGinley. It's a big bonus after the tee shot. Just missed the fairway. Now another 4 at the last. 11 under. 11 under he is. Leader at 10. Now 11.
I was speaking to Gary yesterday, saying, can I have Celtic winning the league and a 66? Well, he's very possibly going to have a 68 or better, and Celtic winning the league. Now McDowell, very close in 2, and this for the birdie. And she goes, this group is faring well. Moves to 2 under.
So Paul McGinley stretches his lead to 2 with 1 hole to play. But there are plenty of good scores already in the clubhouse. Robert Carlton set the early pace. Shots like his 3rd at the last culminated in a 66, and the Swede was 9 under. Tunnicliffe holed miles of putts, and his approach play wasn't bad either. A 65 for Miles. Oliver Wilson has finished 2nd 3 times this season. He's in the hunt again, despite his eagle putt missing at the last. Some big name players will have the weekend off, including 3 times winner Colin Montgomery. The only cut Lee Westwood made was a cut to the loo. Food poisoning put paid to Lee's hopes after 6 holes.
Back out to the 16th, and Jimenez there's a twirl of the club, but I think he knew that was coming up shy. There's that spin taking it away. You've got to be brave in the 16th with the pin right up the back. You know that you're going to get spin, so you're going to have to flirt with the very back edge of the green and hope that it comes back.
Yeah, or play one in softer and lower flight. Gilson now. This, though, for a par at the 15th, was in trouble in the trees. Remember, in the back, not a very good shot out of the sand, but no.
Well, Paul McGinley, our leader, looking to aim straight at the bunkers and just slide the ball from left to right.
And more players taking driver today, just a bit damper, and that one is absolutely perfect. Just trundling out to give him a good view of the green with his 2nd. 538 yards. This may as well be McGinley's drive we're watching here. Towards those bunkers, about the 290-yard mark. As we head around the corner, opens up the green. Far more heavily bunkered now. A couple of years ago, Ernie, a sand fetish coming in there. And they have relaid this green, but still it feeds from right to left and falls away at the front. And today that pin is front left.
Well, if Graham goes at the bunkers down the left-hand side, he's certainly got the power to reach it, so he needs just to avoid those to the right. 292 is the bunker on the right-hand side.
They've gone left. Sit there. It could be far enough back in the bunker to have a decent dig at it if it's lying okay in the bunker.
Did you see there that bunker rake is out of the bunker? If he'd been another 3 or 4 feet away, it would have hit the rake and not gone in the bunker. That's why I believe bunkers should, the rake should always be left in the bunker.
That's certainly a good point, Peter. Different courses have different rules for where bunkers should be left.
Well,
David Howell, can he find the middle of this 18th fairway? Not a breath of wind out here, just perfect playing conditions. So different to yesterday afternoon when the players found it so tricky. But certainly if he can find the fairway, this home green is definitely on in 2.
He too looks to have just tugged out a little bit to the left. Just going with a 3-wood though, so far enough back that he'll stay on the fairway. It's a long way back, but a good view of the green.
See, there's the rake on the edge of the bunker there. Now you come, it's absolutely perfect to stop anyone going in the bunker, leave him an awkward stance, maybe. What's the point of leaving the bunker rake there, coming off the fairway? Imagine a match play situation. You're down the fairway, your opponent's heading for the trouble, you think you got him here, and he hits the bunker and hits the rake and doesn't go in the bunker. Look at that, like rush hour at Waterloo Station in the summer. Good crowd yesterday and today. Thank you for your emails. Peter Young from Northern Ireland says, is laser measuring equipment an outside danger? Yes, it is, but it can't be used actually during competition play, Peter. Amateurs can buy one and use it, and you make notes make reference points from here to there. It's so many yards, and you can do that all right. Martin Fair wants to know whether I ever had a sand iron. Yes, I'm not that old.
We're actually going to bring them in, laser yardage measurers. You can use them in some amateur competitions now, and they phase them in professional tournaments.
Casey's had a good 7 or 8 minutes to read this putt because he's waiting for the players ahead to tee off on 17. Just comes a little bit up a little ridge. It's not very fast.
Pretty good, and he knows it. Such a fiddly green.
Luke Palmer wants to know the difference between a heathland and a parkland course. Well, heathland, heather, pine, silver, birch, that sort of thing, and parkland is just that, just trees and grass. But more capability brown. Heathland is, I say, heather and pine. This is a bit betwixt and between this course. Knighton Heath, you mentioned, the old Broadstone Golf Club near, I should say the Northbourne Golf Club near Bournemouth. That was heather and pine.
Now Jimenez to make his birdie. Ball at one point was twice as close as this, but just going in with a sand iron got lots of backspin. This to get to 7 under.
So near, so near. We've seen a lot missed to the left, but that one there just shy on the right. Good effort, good par.
Strides away. Bob from Northern Ireland wants to know what percentage of the prize money do the caddies receive. Well, it varies. 7.5%, 10% for a win, a weekly wage, and then a little bit of whatever. Good money if you get a good bag. Oh, but not so good if you keep doing that. There's Thomas Bjorn, and he doesn't like that sort of thing. I'm going to take a little short break, and Ken is back with us, refreshed and smelling like an English rose.
Oh, thank you, Peter. Where I'm sitting, I don't smell quite like that, but
Casey just finishing out. Remains 4 under par. Jimenez 6 under par. Scoring far, far better today. Well, in fact, we'd written off Retief Hussain yesterday, 76. And he struggled on the way out, 37 with a double bogey at the 9th, but this is for his 5th 3 in a row. That was for an eagle at the 17th. He birdied the 12th, the 13th, the 15th, the 16th. He's going to birdie the 17th, and crucially, that, if he holds that, will get him back to 1 over par, which is the projected cut at the moment. So, very good effort from the Goose today.
looking at Nick Dougherty down the 17th, just drifted into the light rough. John Hawkes was down there. How's his ball lying? He's taking a real cut at it.
Well, yeah, it's not lying too badly actually, Ken. He's just in the first cut. They're all 3 players waiting for the green. 610 yards. I mean, it's not normal getting up in 2, is it?
Playing with Christian, Darren Clark is not going to make the cut despite a birdie. Takes him back to 4 over, unless something beyond special happens at the last. 1 over the projected cut. An eagle at the last will give him an outside chance.
It's very close between 1 over and 2 over making the cut. 1 over's a cert now, but 2's still got a chance. This will take Retief Goosen to 1 over. Terrific effort. What a run. Look at that from the 12th. 5 birdies and 6 holes. The 18th very reachable for him in 2. A goose that never gets in a flap.
Out with Paul McGinley, David Hull, Graham McDowell. Paul McGinley. There's Paul Eales watching this now. Chat between caddy and player again.
Yes, David Howell just took the 3-wood off the tee just to lay short of the bunkers. He did hit it 275 yards, but that leaves him 264. So he's certainly going to get all of this one to get it home. Bunkers waiting for him right and left. Hardly a breath of air here. Big 3-wood to get home.
Well, he's given that everything. Stepped all over it. Down in that first bunker on the right-hand side. Not as difficult as it would have been yesterday. The bunker shot not quite so long. The pin right on the front. Is that in the bunker? Yes, it is. It is in the sand.
Oh, to be young and brave. Fairway wood in the bunker. Dear me. 2 under par he is for his round.
Cool.
He's got to get this one absolutely spot on.
Must make sure his feet don't slip. Dangerous, isn't it? Oh, that could be very awkward. Just trickled into the trap.
I think that might have stayed just short. I think there might have been a dimple or 2 still hanging outside the bunker there, which would be horrid. Did it make it down into the sand? He will hope it has made it down to the sand.
Pretty impressive though, Paul.
Very impressive indeed. Got all the shots, Graham.
Played almost left to right.
Not just a great pitcher and putter. 5th in the scrambling stats this year so far. But now our leader, 296 off the tee, leaves him at 226. Just a 3-iron for him here. Tight pin on this left-hand side, only 8 paces on.
There again, the twirl of the club. Another stunning shot from McGinley. What a round this has been. Following that opening 65, sometimes it's hard to push on, but push on he has in the back 9. 4 birdies and a putt for an eagle in the last.
25 feet from.
That's how far it is. That's how far it is between McGinley and a 66 to follow that 67. Wondrous golf.
Member of the health club here at Wentworth, Paul McGinley, likes the golf course, and that is a splendid looking scorecard. Whenever you start the day with a bogey, you're never quite sure whether it's going to be your day or not.
Now Marcus Fraser from New South Wales lives in Melbourne now. And going along very tidily, back on the par 5 12th. Long way out, you see him just behind that ditch that a lot of players were driving past earlier today. As this one's sliding away. Feeds down into the flat of the bunker, not too bad. Won the Russian Open back in 2003.
Questionable whether Jimenez can actually reach in 2. He's not one of the longest hitters, but he's very accurate. Turn it down the right with a little bit of draw.
Here comes the slope, just going to break it back into the fairway. He wants it to keep running to the right, otherwise he's got to keep going, keep going. Tricky little shot.
And all the applause around the 18th, richly deserved by Paul McGinley. And the grin in response. He knows this has been a great effort today. A man whose game has been in the doldrums, coming out. What a round it's been.
A little quiet around the 16th green, and Søren Kjeldsen. Nicely judged, lovely touch. Had one victory on the European Tour, the Dane.
Well, David Howell likes these 60-degree sand wedges. Pop this one high into the air, a couple of bounces, and then just roll down to the flag.
Oh, beautiful. Just got the perfect strike. Just enough check on it.
Dougherty back in the thick stuff. To the right of the 17th. Well, his hand came off, looked displeased with. That's not too bad at all. Never know quite how it's going to come out of there. May have killed a small shrew. And did stop short.
Well, I don't think this could have been more awkward if you'd have gone down there and placed. It did stop short from going into the bunker. Now leaves him very, very awkward. Not just the stance, got to keep it body still and just let that club slide under the ball using the bounce, the back edge of the bottom of the club. Slide that under the ball, pop it forward.
Well, reasonable effort from a very awkward spot. Did the main thing, you got it back over the bunker. It would have been easy to stub it in front of him. Just pop it in the bunker in front of himself.
John Panamore, the chief referee, in the buggy, chatting to Paul Casey.
Well, Paul McGinley's looked around this a couple of times.
This is a cheeky pin position here where Paul's putting from now. He's going down the hill and it's going to really swing from left to right as well and then pick up pace as it goes past the hole, if it doesn't go in, that is. This for a 4-shot lead.
Aiming a long way left. Yes, what a brilliant finish. Eagle 3. Cracking round, 65, 66. They don't come much better than that. Well done, Paul. Finish with an eagle.
It's a smile which lights up the course. He's going to have a handsome lead heading into the weekend. He's back with a bang, with a vengeance. 4 shots clear.
It's been a splendid 2 days. He holds some wonderful long putts today. A couple of ones you certainly wouldn't expect to hold, but his tee to green game sound as ever.
Now Dougherty for a birdie at the 17th. Four under. Night and day today and yesterday, Ken. The birdies and eagles rolling in.
Just a little bit more softness on the greens on the whole golf course. Made all the difference. Well, that was a bit fiery. Helping up the slope a little bit. That's left himself a horrible testy one. John Paramore talking to Paul Casey. I'm not sure what about. John, the senior rules official on the European Tour, and what he doesn't know about the rules of golf is not worth knowing.
Back to Marcus Fraser, third shot on the par 5, 12th. There's always a little wild card for you later in the day, sneaking up leaderboard. That is a great bunker shot from that distance. Great bunker shot, and it will be a birdie. He'll move to 8 under par.
Never easy for right-handers. Little down the hill, slidey one from left to right.
Such a gem of a shot from the fairway bunker. Almost deserved better. Cruel lie just short of the greenside bunker, but it's a cruel game and a hard finish for Graham McDowell to take.
Tap in for David Howell to get to 3 under, 141. $71. With a couple of double bogeys on his card today at 7 and 8, so that's a terrific effort. Good comeback. And a very nice 3-ball.
Yeah, Howell and McDowell played well, but buried deep in the shadow of McGinley, who has been phenomenal. Something for everyone.
Probably just a small cut in those ones. Slightly grazed. No, a gentleman. Sign his card and he'll be home in 15 minutes.
So there you go, 4 shots clear, and unless Marcus Fraser produces something, he will have that lead going into the weekend. My goodness, front runner. Now Darren Clark with other things to think about. An eagle would get him to 2 over, which has a sneak of a chance, but no more than that. Can't take cries, and it doesn't.
It's 18's green now. There's a peppering of bunkers around it.
That's a cracking drive from Jimenez down the 17th, but as Ken was saying, even that, did it creep out far enough to give him a sighter at the green? Casey long, but in the scraggly stuff down the right. He was always going to do that. He was out of bounds off the tee yesterday, en route to a 7. That was chasing on down.
Peter Alliss joins us back in the box. Everything okay, Peter?
Yeah, I've just been following a bit of some interesting stuff going on here. That Jimenez got to try and draw this one a bit round the corner. He's aiming out right. There she goes and turns. All depends whether it lands straight. No, just took a little bit off it. Doing its best. Might have got to the very edge if he just missed the cut there. Little cut of rough. So it's a great golf that McGinley, of course, hold of some nice putts, but didn't he strike some good shots over those last few holes? Beautiful shots.
The difference a day makes for the afternoon's play today. Seen plenty of birdies from great golf.
And Jimenez and Casey going along very nicely. Play won't finish here till about 8 o'clock tonight. Big Ernie on the final tee.
Well, unfortunately, Nick Dougherty's already gone, and he's hit it so far right into the trees where Rose was yesterday. We don't know whether it's been found yet. L's next to play. Sadly, going to be missing the weekend. If you'd have been a betting person, to have L's and Monty to miss the cut here, you'd have got good odds.
What about Darren Clark? Throw him in for good measure.
The treble.
The treble. Sad treble.
538 yards, just into the breeze.
Yeah, that's as good as we've seen, really, although you see it eases its way left or towards the middle of the fair. That should be absolutely A1.
Said he's feeling better and better about his game coming into this week, working with Butch Harmon after a long association with David Ledbetter, but something's still not quite right.
Ooh, it's time to hold on to your hats. This bloke's about 5 foot 8.5, 5 foot 9 inches, but he gives it a mighty muller.
Amazing, isn't it? Yes. It's not a pretty swing, Ken. It's not a balanced, delicate, nice sort of Luke Donald swing, but hands a bit low. As you say, only 5 foot 8, 10 stone. Watch this. Get on. Oh, get out. Get round. Get over. In the juicy stuff. Shane O'Donoghue's with our leader, Paul McGinley. Must be happy.
Paul, you spoke yesterday of potentially a 66 and a Celtic victory. Are you into fortune telling?
Yeah, actually I forgot about that, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a great 66, great finish. Great back nine, hold some great putts in the back nine, and that was the difference.
You seem to be very fired up, though, as though there's a point to prove that you're really getting into the swing of it now. You've found something in your swing, perhaps?
Oh, not really. I mean, as I said, I've been playing like this most of the year. I haven't had the results, and it's just, you know, the margin is so small between success and not, and the difference is obviously a few putts going in, and there's no question I hold some nice putts in the afternoon, and you know, if I'm going to do well in this tournament, I'm going to have to do that for another 2 days.
Like, your stats are excellent: driving accuracy, greens and regulation, stroke average. When you hold putts, you're dangerous.
Yeah. Well, except last year when I was really poor, but yeah. No, I hit so many greens, so I do have a lot of opportunities for birdies, and I'm often putting from outside. You know, because I hit a lot of greens and putting from 20, 30, 40 feet a lot. But obviously hold some today, and it makes such a difference when you do.
Is there a noticeable difference, though, in how you feel out there at the moment? Obviously you like the course, you've had good performances here in the past, and maybe you can go a couple better now that you have this opportunity. Is there something different out there?
There's nothing different now. I mean, everything I'm working on, I've been working on for 10 years with Bob Torrance in my golf swing. There's nothing different. I'm certainly more flexible than I've been in the past. I've paid a big attention to detail with my fitness and my putting. Obviously, you know, I hold some putts, and that's really the difference. And as I said, I've been playing this kind of golf most of the year without really holding the putts or taking advantage of good shots. And obviously, the last 2 days I have.
What are you finding out on the greens, though? What is so special about your performance at the moment on the greens that others are struggling?
Well, I'm pretty much accepting that, you know, the greens are not ideal, although they're very good, and you know, if it goes in, it's a bonus. You know, you hit it on the right line, it's all you can control.
You're leading by 4. Well done, Paul. Best of luck over the weekend.
Thanks, Shane.
Jimenez on the 17th, bumbling it forward, doing pretty well. Interesting, McGinley there saying, Ken, that he just accepts that the greens, they're good greens, but they're never going to be perfect at this time of year at Wentworth, so if it goes in, it's a bonus, and if it doesn't, que sera, sera.
Well, they say exactly the same thing about some great courses in America with this type of grass. Pebble Beach, for example, they always, the United States Open Championship players, their championship, the players always moan and groan about the afternoon. The grass grows, it starts to seed a bit, and it's a fact of life, but it happens. Get on with it.
Real trouble for Nick Dougherty down the right of 18 here. I think if he takes his 2 club lengths, which would be a penalty drop, it'll just about get him into a position where he may be able to nudge it 40, 50 yards forward. Could be a miraculous 5, but real trouble for Dougherty down here on 18.
Not far, mate. Why is there anything in there now?
Darren Clark just finishing his week's golf. Quite sure we got at the 18th, but he was +4 coming into it. This is round 5 at the last, 73. 75 yesterday. Playing with Martin Keimer, 3 under par. A man from Dusseldorf.
This is a horrid little slidey putt. It looks simple, but you've got to get the pace and the line. Sounds a bit simplistic, but if he starts it too straight without pace, it drifts off to the right. Well, then he dived in at the end. I thought that was going to miss on the top side, but it went in. Good putt to hole. A good prospect, this young fellow from Germany. No great finish by him, you see. McGinley finished 3, 4, 7 shots. He took 10. 3 shots in 2 holes.
What a comeback this has been from Retief now. 4 over yesterday, 76 out in 37 today with a double bogey at the 9th. Birdies at the 12th, the 13th, 15, 16, 17. Don't ruin it now. This possibly to make the cut. Well done. Well done. Very brave effort from Retief Goosen, and he should be here for the weekend. That's no mean feat considering his starting point today.
That's terrific. I have a great admiration for Goosen. I think he's a lovely player. Look at that outward 9, 5, 2, 4, then umpteen 4, 5, 4, 3, 6 going out. And then what a finish, blazing finish. Didn't get his 4 at the last. But things like that can restore your confidence. Sometimes it only needs one shot, one putt, one thought to get you on in the groove again.
Back to the 17th and Casey. Keep going, run, run, run. Oh, just enough pace. He's looking very good, Paul Casey. He can keep the ball in play. The rest of his game looks extremely sound. What's the news, John?
You can go if you want.
Well, Nick Dougherty has in fact had a penalty drop. I'm not sure quite what's going on because he's signalling to Andres Romero to play, but he would be playing his 3rd shot, and I think they're going to call for the rules official as to whether there's something that... of course, the rules are there to help you, but it's using them to your advantage. Anyway, Romero having to lay up. He's blocked out in the rough down the right.
So it's a pretty wayward tee shot, and he's 50 yards, 40, 50 yards offline. Romero, because he heavy rough, big lofted club.
Has he got enough of it?
Yep. Here she comes, just staggers out of the light rough.
As a modern designer, Peter, you probably wouldn't finish with 2 par 5s, but it has given us a lot of excitement over the years.
Jimenez. One of that chasing peloton of players, but a long way wide. McGinley seems a tiny dot in the horizon, long way clear. He remains 7 shots behind Thomas Bjorn, also playing in this group. 8 over for the tournament. He's heading to his very near home.
And the else won't be far behind him. Oh, steady. Oh, no. It's one of those days. Just going through that sort of period when things aren't going right. When you hit a good one, it goes offline. Now, a bit of toing and throwing here.
Well, he's definitely had a drop, and the rules officials wandered over. I'm not quite sure what they're discussing here, but he seems to be in play. So this will be his 3rd shot, and he's coming out sideways. But the problem he's got is to pitch it far enough onto the fairway and then stop it before the bunkers. So a very difficult shot for Dougherty. He doesn't want to finish with a calamity.
Doesn't appear to have taken a very good drop here, John. Has he had a drop already? Is that as far
he was
as he
deep in the trees, Peter, and he's had 2 club lengths out sideways.
That's the best he could do.
And that is the best he could do. Of course, he could have gone back directly in line, but he would have been in Pooh Bear's back garden if he'd have gone any further into the trees.
In Pooh Bear's garden? Well, there's some lovely gardens here, but sometimes you see one of those whirly gigs, you know, one of those clothes drying things. It takes the glamour away. All the smalls on the line, a beautiful garden, a £4 million house, and a whirly gig. I don't know why he didn't go back to the tee then. If he's hogging out for 4, 3, we could have been up there for, well, put it in the trouble the other side. What? That'll be awful there. You have to stand out of the bunker maybe.
Now he's probably thinking, why didn't I take 3 off the tee?
Oh, lummy Charlie. Well, we saw a classic case last week of Richard Finch winning in Ireland when he sort of had a red mist coming up the last hole. Got away with it. Kerry Perry, having in a playoff, hit a tree, went in the water. How's he lying now, John?
Oh, I'd have to say badly. He's got the ball well below his feet. He's up the bank on the left-hand side. Of course, he's got the little stream to go over, so he's had 3 shots already. He's going to be at least 120 yards short the green for 4, so staring at 7, Peter.
Is he capable? Oh, no, I'm just having a look. Oh no, I don't think you can't go over the ditch from there, can he? He's got to knock it out.
I think he could get it over the ditch, but he's then on the upslope. He must be able to hit a wedge onto that bank.
Yeah, should be able to.
You all right, mate? You get much on me? You think? Just most doing everything on that for you. So I'm lying at 52. Yeah, you don't even want to bring too much into play at all.
Course management, call it what you want, Ken, is so important, isn't it? They're just attack and defend, those old-fashioned words, or you get fed up with hearing us say it. But sometimes it comes off, sometimes you're lucky. Look at McDowell. Took a risk, seemed to get away with it, ended up with a 6. Now this has got to be struck properly. If he miscues at all, he could end up in the as heavy. Has he got it over? I think he has. I don't know, I don't think he has. Dear me, I mean, this is really wicked stuff here. I mean, you could be playing yourself out of it.
Oh dear, well, he's going to end up having more hits than take that up here now. He's going to be dropping for 6. 1 into the trees, drop for 3 into the bunker, 4 into the water, dropping for 6, so blimey. This is very expensive, and it's not nice to see.
No, it's not. It's horrid to see, but it just goes to show that when you're playing this game, you've got to. There's more to just hitting the ball. He hits the ball beautifully, yes, but can he play? And here's a classic example of one bad shot and then mismanagement. Call it what you like.
Just a reminder of his score coming into this hole, 4 under, and you start to look at a possible quadruple bogey, heading back even towards that cut mark from a position of strength, from a position of thinking about high finish, challenging over the weekend. Suddenly, in one hole, tournament is all but gone. Priorities change.
Well, he's dropping, playing 6 here. He can go as far back as he like, but he's dropping where he's intimating he's going to be on the downslope. Still got some 155 yards to the front, and he's going to be playing his 6th shot if he takes, well, 3 more to get down from here. 8. He's going to go back to level par, which is, he's inside the cup, but any more than that and he's going to be in trouble.
John, can you see the flag? How much of the flag can you see from there? Top half or what?
Yeah, you can see just about the top half of the flag, but his caddy needs to calm him down, Peter, because he's as mad as a wasp at the moment.
And they can get very cross.
But once again, you've got to play the percentage with this shot. If he goes at the flag, plugs in the bunker, he'll take even more.
Yeah. Okay, so he might drive up to them if he really clatters one. Could be turning towards the bunkers. No. Huge bounce, but it is. Oh, it is. Oh, yeah. There it comes. Dougherty 6th. A little bit of good fortune.
The right play, though, wasn't it? Not going at the flag,
yeah.
Just easing in. The odds are he's going to take 3 from where he was, and he doesn't want to take more than that.
That's a very quick putt from there. 2 putts for an 8.
Jimenez going with the driver off the 18th. 300 yards to reach the traps. Quite a lot of players do hit 3-wood just to make sure they stay short. Likes to hit the ball with a draw, which is not ideal for this tee shot.
It was a very aggressive play from Casey Driver, the only club that he could have reached those bunkers with. Very nearly good, but he's almost where Dougherty was. Jimenez, by contrast, will have a pop at the green from there.
Quite a while since Andres Romero hit a shot, because he's been, unfortunately, watching the trials and tribulations of his partner. But anyway, perfect position, right-hand side of the fairway. Just over 110 yards for Romero. Pitch it right of the flag and screw it down.
He zipped it. Too much zip. Little upslope, the first 3 yards of that green faces you, so you've got to carry it over that if you're hitting a short iron spinning in.
He plays golf in a best way I could describe, in a sort of innocent way, doesn't he? Like a youngster, free of all the shackles of too much thought. He just sort of gives it a crack, and he has a good feel for the game. Very interesting player, I think, Romero. It'd be good to see how he moves on over the next 2 or 3 seasons.
At the other end of the experience scale, Ernie Els. Wonder if we'll see him back challenging in majors. Well, of course, he did challenge towards the end of last year. Absolutely. In the US PGA, finished just behind Tiger and Woody Austin, and won earlier this season.
And he's been so close in maybe 3 or 4 other major events. He's won a couple of Opens here and in the United States, but very close to the Masters and PGA. He's had lots of opportunities. Kelson's got one back. Soren, he's one of your favourites, isn't he, Andrew?
It's like the way he plays, tidy player. Very impressed that he did things at Valderrama last year. But Ernie Els has very different problems. Just looking to finish things here.
Ernie trying to finish with a flourish. He was a little bit downhearted as he walked past me. Can he hold this for eagle? But it's going to be too many.
Delightfully played by Ernie. Under the hole, little uphill left. Two birdies yesterday and 2 birdies today for Ernie Els. A couple of double bogeys, 1 each day.
Romero from the edge of the green.
A little bit sloppy with his 3rd shot, being critical, but this is a big right to lefter for Romero here on 18 on this recently relayed green.
Yeah, the ball slips by. That's a good 4 feet past. Very slippery from that side of the hole.
Players down the fairway getting their yardages for their seconds. Paul Casey certainly won't need one to the front of the green, having found the bunker.
So it'll be interesting. Paul Casey almost exactly where Nick Dougherty was, if he flirts with the water coming across there.
Fraser, now he's been in the trees. He's had a penalty drop, so this is his 5th shot at the 13th. Is he going to get a 6? Oh. So some good golf and still some wayward ones that have been very costly. None more so for Nick Dougherty. This for a 7, and it's going to be an 8. It might be a 9. Oh dear, he's going along so beautifully. For such a pedestrian game, it can be very cruel. But there's a hope for the future, maybe. Got the trousers, isn't it? A pair of old Johnny Miller's cut downs. You cheeky little, you're going to cause you're going to break a heart or two, I can see, in a few years' time. Yeah, you will. Yeah, those girls at school, yeah, they're all right, really, when you get to know them. Yeah, do all right. Oh, thank God that's over. Oh, that's very sad. Very, very sad. Poor drive, wayward drive, and oh.
He's got this one, Peter, this slidey one. Left edge and firm. That's it, beautifully done. I agree with you entirely. He's got a sort of fresh way of playing. He just plays it, he hits it, walks on, hits it again.
He's not cluttered, he plays, and this is a huge compliment in the same sort of freedom as Christy O'Connor, our dear friend, a wonderful golfer. Didn't clutter his mind with all sorts of strange thoughts about this, that and the other. Whatever it may be, but just a freedom of a flow of the swing. So many of these great players now, they're going well and they say, well, I've been working on a few things during the winter. I've found a new coach and I've changed my swing and I've got some new clubs, and you don't hear of them. Then they've disappeared and retire.
Other days, other titles, perhaps other majors will come for Ernie Els, but no further part in the BMW PGA Championship. A handsome lead still for Paul McGinley after that. 66 today, 4 clear. The scoring far, far better in the second day. Gentler conditions underfoot, and the greens rather friendlier. So suddenly, so many people under par. Luke Donald, 69 today, good score, but 10 shots back. All these players here for the weekend. Nick Dougherty, 1 under, 4 under par, standing on the 18th tee, 73, which should have been a 70 or better.
Only 222 yards left for Jimenez. He's got plenty of a club, can give this plenty of height and get it to land nice and softly, hopefully next to the hole.
Stay right. Stay right.
Stay right, and it did, hopped over and go to the back of the green. That leaves him a treacherous putt. Boy, that's all of 30, 40 yards.
Now, the English of Jimenez is not the best, so why does he give the universal command in English to his golf
If
ball?
he was in Scotland, there'd be a bit of Gaelic. If he was in France, it would be ho ho ho. You know, he spreads it around a bit, the boy.
It's a few more yards up with it.
Paul Casey has been driven into the trap that was through the fairway. It basically cost him a shot because he's only advanced it 20 yards from there. And he's a little bit on the downslope. Not a long shot in though now, 175 yards.
Buckingham Golf Club, Ken. That's out your way. Where's the Buckingham Golf Club? He's got his proudly bears the badge there. I don't know.
I know where the Buckinghamshire is, but I don't know whether.
I thought it said the Buckingham Golf.
Yeah, it did say the Buckingham. Yeah. I'm not sure where that is.
Buckingham, there we are. It looks like a cross swan for its coat of arms.
Well, it's a tiger who goes for this flag. You've just got to ease it in from about 12 feet right of the cup.
If you can play it right, we saw it happen with, I forgot now who it was. Someone played a good shot in there, was it Hansen? No. Pitch it right of the flag. If you get the right sort of spin, it'll come down the slope, right to the whole side.
Straight at it, I think? No.
No, short. See there, it wants to come down the hill. Awkward position. I mean, that's one thing that's changed over the years. The powers that be put the flags in hard places in a way to protect the course. It almost borders on sometimes being, dare I say, unfair. Particularly when the ground's hard. It's very hard. If you stick them in the middle of the greens, you make it too easy. So here's your man, Andrew.
Tiny figure, Søren Kjeldsen. Is it a good smack? A little bit too far around the corner. That's tight for his second shot. He's going to have to move that from left to right. It's on the fairway, so he'll be able to get some spin on the ball. There's some great players on the, perhaps on the downslope in Europe now. Thomas Bjorn's had his struggles, and you look at the great figures of European golf over the past 10, 15 years, and a new generation coming through.
Yeah, it's always been, that's the way it's always been, but it's always sad when you, in a way sad, it's sad when they keep going and start playing poorly. I think it's always difficult to know when to retire and get out of the limelight. But it's a sadness for any sport, football, rugby, cricket. And they all have to face it. It could spin down the hill. No, it stayed. You know, Thomas Federer at the moment is losing the odd game or two. He's only in his mid-20s. We've got the great dart man that loses occasionally. What's his name? Taylor. I like watching him play. You know, they all come to a moment when the skills leave them.
You settle down of an evening and watch Phil the Power Taylor?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I like it when he goes there and he goes, boom. He has a habit of putting his hand in his right-hand pocket. No commentators have picked it out. He's always got he's got a bit of magic, a bit of foo-foo dust in his right pocket, which he just flicks onto his fingers before he throws the arrow. Powder. Yeah. Hello, earring. Hey, that's not the same lad we saw just. That was his older man. Now you see, if you don't think that's a handsome lad, or is it a girl? Oh God, he's got the flecks in his hair too. Yeah, you got lovely teeth. God, you must be a model. Perfect teeth, an earring, and flecks in your hair. God, yeah. Oh, hello, not you. Get out of it. Go on, yeah, go on.
Hello, Dean.
Hello, son. All right? Yeah, God, you lovely. On the phone, eh? On the Odie? Go on there, my son. This is a golf tournament, you boys. Calm down. Please go home if you want to be so. Go and join the football people. Join the Lineker crowd. Now, Kenneth, my boy, if he gets down a 2 from here, we should give him some
Crackerjack pencil.
Crackerjack pencil, or a free paella, or packet of crisps. I don't know what, but this is about a 4-foot, 5-foot borrow on this. What do you think? Perhaps not as much as that. Pace important.
Very easy to drop the cabbage here.
Is that a technical term?
Obviously can't remember Crackerjack.
Could, oh yes, beg your pardon. He could putt this off the green, Philip.
If he gets within 4 feet, I think he'll be delighted with this one.
Is this a master stroke? This is a master. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Oh, a master stroke. The putt of the day. Didn't hold it, but that was absolutely marvellous. The glasses go. The hat comes off. The old Barnett. Looking a bit stressed these days, the old Barnet. I don't know whether there's too much henna in it or whatever, but it's just looking a little bit stressed. Needs the old verti-cutter on that, I think. Just a touch of the verti-cutter and Verdone, and he'll be away. He's a lovely, lovely fellow. He'll buy you a glass of Rioja.
You're too right, Peter.
He's a lovely, lovely, lovely man. That was some putt, my God. I didn't think he had enough club.
A fourth shot after finding the bunker off the tee, Casey. Just have to nip this off the tight turf. One hop, grab, and
beauty.
roll.
Super little shot, just nice and crisp.
Isn't it an amazing game? Yesterday, nothing went, didn't it? People were missing it from short range. They all could get it close to the cup. And today,
there's still a few wayward drives and a few missed, but today a different game. Today, people have hit the ball straighter. Yesterday, it was a dreadful exhibition of driving on straight hitting. Apart from well, there was probably 20 or 30 who played well, but Thomas is 8 over. That's going to drift away, and I worry about Thomas. Well, there was a period when I thought he was he was a majestic striker of the ball. Got a few of his own demons, though.
He'll not be here. I suspect he's still got tournaments to challenge for, perhaps win as well. But today, his position has been and also ran a card marker for brighter efforts from Jimenez and Casey. It's sad to see. Bjorn will be back.
Schwarzl, is this? From, well, that's a lofted club, just playing around the corner. Can he get up on the flat bit? Yes, he can. He looks a very good player to me. Well, he is a good player. McGrain going well again, Damien. A wee little Irish gnome. He's a little gnomey figure. He's wonderful to watch. He's got a freedom of spirit and strikes the ball crisply.
Probably just have to say marginally this side of the draw have had a bit of an advantage.
Yes, probably so. Hello. New putter. Kelson. Has he got a touch of the rinse on top there? It looks a different card. Nothing to do with me anyway. A little cutter, you fancy?
Great
Needs
round
a
of
little
golf.
slider.
It's been Peter. He's 6 under for his round. Just one drop short at the 15th.
So 6 under. 4 for 65. He's nipping out. Oh, he had to slide it round the corner. And oh, what a nice bounce. That was a very nice in off the cush.
Now that for a new course record.
Ah, here's my man, Damien McGrain. Now that's gone towards the left side. I fancy missed the oh no, plunged in. That was certainly plenty of club. That would have been through the green if it had been straight. I like it when we get unexpected stars creeping through, Ken.
Well, I was looking at the winners, and the winners, what I'd call the regular European Tour. The last 13, only one of them has been in the top 100 of the world ranking. So we've had a lot of interesting winners.
Amazing. I mean, pretty well every tournament this year has been a new winner, hasn't it? Or a different winner, or a new winner. Gary Orr there, 68. Nice to see Gary. Had a lot of problems with his back. Good round.
Daniel
Vancic.
Vancic.
He's a good one. What do you make of him, Andrew?
Big hitter. Second longest on the tour this year.
That was a bit of a lunger, wasn't it?
Big shot there.
That'll do. That's the best we've seen. That's the 17th, and he's absolutely pin high in, I assume, 2 shots. He won't know where that is, but the applause from the top of the hill should tell him something. McGinley striding ahead, 4 ahead at the moment, but 36 holes to go. There's Van Sick from Argentina with a chance to go to 7 under with a putt at the 17th. Schwartzel on the 18th. Richard Green from Australia continues his good, steady play. Luke Donald got back into it with a 69 this morning. Garrido continuing his good play, missed out on that in the playoff for the Spanish Open. Dougherty, he dropped 40 to take 8 at the last. Ever popular, ever straight down the middle, Peter O'Malley. Anton Haig, remember him saying South Africa, where he started the season in fine style. Paul Lawrie, just 1 hole to go.
Schwartzel with that happy band of young South Africans. Sterny, Oosthuizen, Schwartzel, and this could be very, very, very good. But it leaves him a nasty little putt, but very good shot. Putt to go to 5 under.
Bit of hustle and bustle in the commentary box as Paul McGinley arrives in, looking very cheery, understandably so.
So he should be cheery as well. There'll be flashing smiles for hours yet, William McGinley. And why not? As long as he doesn't start blackening his hair. You're not going to put any dye on that hair. No, he's all right. Leave him alone.
That'll be a birdie for Van Sick to move to 6 under par. So many birdies, so many eagles today, all chasing Paul McGinley.
So Paul McGinley leads by 4 shots, record total for 2 days, beating Ernie Els, Colin Montgomery and Andrew Oldcorn's record by 1. So congratulations for that, Paul. We're nearing the end of our coverage. It's good of you to pop in. I said to you yesterday, Celtic to win the league or a 65. You said, how about Celtic to win the league and a 66? Remarkable.
Remarkable is right. I was thinking afterwards when I was having a shower later, so what am I doing saying that because Celtic winning the league is not going to get me winning this tournament or in the Ryder Cup. So yeah, I'm obviously
66 might help.
Yeah, 1 over the weekend now would be very nice.
It's been quite a couple of days. You've played beautifully.
I have. I've played lovely. Lots of greens and reg. You know, and that's the foundation for me holding the putts. I'm having a lot of putts from 20 feet, 30 feet, and certainly in the back nine today, it was great to hold as many footage of putts that I've held, because as you know, it's not something I do quite regularly.
Yeah. Course record yesterday, best 2-round total today. I know it's not about the first half, it's about the second half, but you've put yourself in a fabulous position.
I have a fabulous position. You know, it's a long week, as I said, when you lead after the first round, no matter what tournament it is, it's a very long week, and because you're on the front line, you know, you're doing interviews with you, it's interviews in the press, so there is quite draining. So I've got to be very careful that I keep my energy levels up for the weekend and prepared and have a strong weekend. You know, I'm halfway through a marathon. It's a long days to go tomorrow.
You've got a lengthy lead at the halfway stage. Your mindset going into the next round is still be aggressive and
I think so, yeah, I think so. I mean, it depends. I think the weather forecast is going to be, apparently, if it's going to be true, it's going to be quite rainy over the weekend and a bit windy as well too. So I'll have to take stock tomorrow.
Yeah, we just saw Kelson's putt for an eagle. They just failed to hold that. He was attempting to beat your course record, so it remains safe for at least another day.
Yeah.
Paul, many congratulations on 2 rounds of golf, and hopefully we'll speak to you the next 2 days as well.
So. Thanks, Gary.
Well played. Before we leave you, let's take one final look at that leaderboard. It's Paul by 4 from Robert Carlson and Miles Tunnicliffe. Oliver Wilson also a 66. He's 8 under par. Soren Kjeldsen there should tap in and finish 8 under as well. We'll find out very shortly indeed. Well, lots of great players have missed the cut this weekend, but it's not about those that are not going to be here at the weekend. It's about people like Paul McGinley. Leads by 4. We'll see you tomorrow on BBC 2 at 1. Goodbye.